$1 million increase over the last year. The cap has increased 40% in just 5 years since it dropped, coming off the pandemic-altered 2020 season. With few or no fans were allowed to attend games, the numbers were sent to clubs today, and teams must be under the salary cap by March 11th, which is the first day of the new league year.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Wyman and Bob.
On Seattle Sports.
Streaming live on the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton.
Welcome, everybody. It's Wyman and Bob. This is Seattle Sports on 710, seattlesports.com. Happy Friday to everybody out there. Big show coming your way. We got Paul Moyer with his weekly conversation coming up at 3 o'clock. Best of the Rest at 4 p.m. And Mean Text coming up at 4:45. We'll be ending the show a bit early today, turning you over to Mariners spring training baseball. So stay tuned for that. So you got a little less time to get creative with the Mean Text at 866-979-3776. You can send the text in there. You can also weigh in on the Mariners, Seahawks, whatever's on your mind. We'll cover it all. Meanwhile, spring training going on. A nice day for Colt Emerson yesterday, and I was looking at his numbers, Dave, and talking to people out there who said he's looked really sharp defensively. He's been playing shortstop, which is his natural spot, because J.P. Crawford's been out with a bit of a shoulder soreness. I don't know if he's injured. It's just sore, what's going on with the shoulder, but he's been playing out there at that spot. And by all accounts, defensively, looking very good. Offensively, maybe looking even better, hitting .364. I know it's spring and all that, but kid's 20 years old. Had a single and a triple yesterday. He lined out over 100 miles an hour, so he's squaring the ball up right now. And you wonder, what is it if he continues this through spring, and we'll see if he does, and how much opportunity he gets depending on how long JP's out. Is he going to make it impossible to leave him off the roster? And if so, is he your starter? I don't think you want to call him up and have him sit on the bench and play once a week, or pinch hit here, or JP gets a day off here, or Donovan gets a day off here. I wouldn't think you'd want to do that with him. I think you'd like him to get consistent at-bats and playing time. So what do you do if he just crushes through spring?
Yeah. First of all, wake up, morons. 4:45 Mean Text. Just want to throw that out. Lefko, you got a shot you want to take?
Hello. I can't see you anymore.
Oh,
Everything's changed since I've been back.
Yeah, that was by design.
Yeah.
Actually, we moved that.
Yeah,
moved that over there. When was the last time? I guess Felix, right? A 20-year-old. I mean, this kid is incredibly young. And to answer the question, I think if he makes the team, definitely they're going to want to play him. And what happens when JP comes back, just depending on what he's doing. But you mentioned he's hitting .364 right now, hitting the ball hard. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's unfair to say it's a 20-year-old. Let's give him a little bit of a chance, or some breathing room. But it's really exciting. I think the good thing about it too is that your lineup is so good that you can kind of cushion it a little bit. It's not like he has to go out there and be the hero, and maybe that's the thing. For him, that kind of takes the pressure off of him because, you're surrounded by guys like Randy Arozarena and Julio Rodriguez and Cal. So you don't feel like you have to go up there and press, and you don't have to go up there and, get all freaked out over just the mental side of, baseball, which is huge.
Yeah, it would be presumably a soft landing for him. The expectations, certainly there's going to be expectations because he's your number one prospect. Number one in the organization and one of the top in all of baseball. But he, the pressure to come in and produce immediately wouldn't be there. But I'm just curious if he were to make the club, how he would be used. Because, again, I don't know how it benefits him to just, ride the bench for the majority of most weeks and get a spot here, a day there. It'd be interesting to see how they handle that. If he just makes a case with his performance saying, well, how do we send him down? Mm-hmm. I know JP's the incumbent. He's the veteran. He's got 1 year left on that deal. But if you come out of a spring training going, look, this kid just gives us a better chance to win right now, don't you have to go with your best option? I mean, to use the old Pete thing, it's competition. It's not about how long you've been in the league or what your salary is or any of that. It's who gives us the best opportunity at this spot to excel.
Yeah. It would be an incredibly, I don't know. It's kind of like a luxury that you can afford just because, him being their number one prospect. But also, if he's playing this well in spring training, and, everybody always says, well, it's spring training. I'm like, okay, but it still happens, right? Mm-hmm. It's kind of like in football when I talk about if a guy makes an unbelievable catch or gets a pick or whatever, and there's a penalty and it gets nullified or whatever. I'm like, it still happened. And so the same thing I feel like with spring training, it's like, okay, he's up there. There's lots of, he's playing against pitchers in spring training that are trying to make the team. They're trying to be competitive. So it's not like it's, it's T-ball. So yeah, I feel like they can afford that though, because of the lineup and the players and the moves that they've made, getting guys like Brendan Donovan.
Yeah, it's, look, it's very early in spring. There's still a lot of baseball in front of them in spring, and we'll see, what the opportunities are when everybody goes to the WBC. The young guys are going to get more turns up there at the plate, more time in the field because of the absence of some of these veterans that are going to be taken off to play in the WBC. But it's just kind of an interesting thing to look at. He's off to such a great start, and again, you always keep spring numbers in context. You take them for what they are, but I feel like that applies even more to the veterans. Like if you see Cal go up there and he's struggling, you're not freaking out. You know what that guy does. He just hit 60 home runs last year. Should have been the MVP. If he goes, 0 for a couple of games, you're not going to go, well, I don't know. You might look for a better option at catcher. You're right. You throw those numbers out.
Yeah.
But when it comes to a young guy who's just firing his way through the minor league system and he's coming up here, and yeah, not everybody he's facing is the ace of that team, but he can only face who's put out there. And,
Right.
It's just interesting problem to have a young guy who's your number one prospect excelling to a point where you're going, well, what do we do? That's a nice luxury to have.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
Justin Hollander was a guest of Brock and Salk, and he was talking about what they want to see out of Colt Emerson.
I think just a consistent ability to execute on both sides of the ball at the big league level, not against minor league pitching, but against big league pitching. He's going to get plenty of run here in camp, especially when the WBC guys go away at the end of the week. So he'll get plenty of opportunity to show it. I also don't want to put too much pressure. It's a day on the calendar. If that day is opening day, that's awesome. I'll be so excited. I will be thrilled to give him a hug and tell him congratulations, you're a big leaguer today. If it's not March 26th and it's April 15th or May 15th or August 15th, he's going to play in the big leagues and he's going to play for us for a long time. So try not to put too much weight on a specific day on the calendar because that's just an arbitrary day, and we'll try our best to make the best decision for him and for us.
Yeah, somebody texted in and said, hey, why don't you put Colt Emerson at third base, and then you could put Brendan Donovan back over at second base. I don't know how much third and versus second that he's played as far as Colt Emerson goes. I'm sorry. He says he's the shortstop, but also he can play third base and second base. So somebody was proposing that idea.
Yeah, well, that's not a novel one. I've been saying that repeatedly. That look, if you put Donovan at what appears to be his most natural position of second base, if you're steadfast that no, JP's our veteran leader. We need him on the field. He brings something beyond the box score, and we want to leave him at short. Then you put Colt Emerson at third. There's your option. But it feels like they really want Cole Young to take that job at second. Like he feels almost anointed. I know Arroyos look good, and that'll be an interesting battle as well. But yeah, I don't know what it feels like. They're giving every bit of the runway to Cole Young to sort of lock that spot up. Here's Hollander talking about what they're looking for from him.
Just consistency. I think he really changed his body this offseason. Really proud of what he did in the offseason. He's moving better. He's throwing better. And I think you'll see him be able to maintain consistent bat speed, consistent approach, and get to some pitches that he maybe didn't get to at the end of last season when he was tired and kind of the league had exposed a small hole from him. And I think he's showing us that he's ready to play in the big leagues and ready to just take the job and run with it. Really excited. What he needed to do, he did, which is the work in the offseason. He checked that box for sure.
Sounds like it's his job.
Yeah.
Sounds like he's your second baseman. is the way he's making it sound. So, does that do? What's their level of? I'm going to say tolerance because that sounds negative. But do they feel a little weird about having two young guys in the lineup, two rookies that
Up
that
the middle.
may be inconsistent, maybe extreme lows, extreme highs, that may not be the consistent element that they need. I don't know. That's going to be an interesting thing for Dan Wilson and them to work out and determine how much can we deal with potential holes in the lineup with two young guys sort of learning their craft and fighting their way through it. Maybe they get off to a great start. Maybe there aren't the extreme highs and lows, but you sort of anticipate though. I mean, you saw it last year with Cole Young. You saw highs, you saw extreme lows, and has he evened that out? He's got more in mind in terms of what he's going to face at this level than Colt Emerson does. So yeah, it's again a nice problem to have. It's not, hey, you've got nobody who can play these spots. These kids have got to come through. You're far from that. You've got options at those spots. So it's not a dire situation that they've got to come out and crush and live up to the billing and be those guys coming out of the gate. But it's an interesting conversation to have on the other side because, again, in Colt Emerson's case, he's looking so good. Again, it is early that you go, all right, does he give you a better chance? Can you say, yeah, he's doing everything you could possibly want him to do, defensively, offensively, but we're sticking with the veteran. We need that veteran presence.
Yeah. Yeah, the guy that we have really not talked about that much is J.P. Crawford, and mostly it's because
he's not playing.
He's not playing, and he's hurt right now. But, what do we think about him coming in? I'm not even sure what the timeline is on J.P. I'm not sure if they've come out with anything clear, but, if you start with Emerson there, then, at least you have that if he's healthy. And is he on pace to be? I'm trying to remember the injury report on JP.
It just said he had a sore shoulder.
It was nothing serious.
It wasn't portrayed as being anything serious. I think it's spring. They know who he is. He's a veteran, so he's not out there to prove anything that he's capable of playing at the big league level. He's not a young guy out there like these guys. So I think they feel like, let's err on the side of caution. If it's inflamed, if it's sore, sit it out. These aren't crucial games for him.
Mm-hmm. Well, and give him, give Emerson a chance to go out there and get some reps. So yeah, it just again, I just feel like because of the lineup that they have, and because you have Donovan out there and Naylor in the infield, that it's kind of a luxury that that you can have, especially if JP is healthy. Yeah,
Pete in Bellingham saying, I think his job is in jeopardy. I assume he's referring to JP.
Oh.
I assume. I don't know that it is. I think they do put a lot of value into his leadership, that he's the longest tenured Mariner on this team right now. He's got a voice in that clubhouse. Is he so – what's the right way of putting it? Is he so inferior to Colt Emerson, maybe defensively or even offensively, that – you can't afford to have him out there? I don't think they've seen that. Again, we're so early in spring. It's just that it's exciting to see your number one, your top prospect living up to the billing, at least coming out of the gates.
Yeah.
He's looked great. There's nothing, I was watching the game yesterday. He's got speed. He's got a nice compact swing. His footwork at short looks really good. And everybody that we've talked to out there has echoed the same thing. So it's I don't know. It's intriguing. You kind of daydream about it, like, man, I don't know. Maybe this guy can take that job, but I don't realistically. Maybe they've got it in their mind, like, look, no matter what he does, JP's our guy to start the year anyway. We'll see how it goes, but we know that this kid is ready to go the second we call him up. Maybe they've got that in mind. I don't know.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome, though. That's the thing that I think is really exciting, because I feel like in years past, it's like, there were so many holes. Like, oh, what are we going to do here? What are we going to do there? And now, again, we keep using the word luxury, that you have a guy that's, their number one prospect that's playing really well. He's not anywhere near turning 21 right now. That's the amazing part of it. And I don't know if you watched a guy that, was 25 and playing the way that he is playing right now in spring training, would you be more apt to? Is it the youth, I wonder? 866-979-3776 that makes it, kind of kind of a little bit shaky or kind of much more of a gamble.
Yeah. People weighing in on Crawford. Crawford had a bad season last year. Could be replayed. He didn't have a bad season.
Yeah, I didn't think
He
so
bounced
either.
back. The season before was not good. In 2024, he missed a bunch of time. He played 105 games in 24, hit 202
Yeah.
with a 304 on base.
Yeah, his career average is 248. So, that
Yeah,
number was way down.
He hit 265 last year with a 352 on base and played 157 games.
Yeah.
He was fine.
Right.
He had a solid season. I think you're seeing his defense sort of there's a little attrition there. He doesn't have great range. He makes some great plays. We see those moments where he makes some brilliant plays.
Yeah.
But his range isn't awesome at this point. But I'm not sure they might be thinking of 2024 because last season he played well.
Yeah. Yeah, he did. And, I remember making a defensive play where it was kind of like he was doing the worm, where he dove, got it, and then was able to glove it to the second baseman. I mean, he makes spectacular plays. Maybe a little bit down last year defensively, but, I mean, you look at the 202, that was kind of an anomaly. And other than, when he started out, that in 2024 was just an off season for him, but came back strong.
Meanwhile, we all look at Julio. We always talk about the slow start and all of that. We'll see what the WBC does for him. I believe he's on his way. I believe yesterday was his last game before heading out. And it was nice to see him and Cal and Rosarena just go double in that game, which was pretty cool. But Kevin Seitzer, who was a guest with Brock and Salk, explained why Julio, in his opinion, is going to be more consistent this season, even at the beginning of the year.
I mean, they all went through ups and downs during the season, and Julio getting off to his prototypical slow start that I think is going to end this year. I think he's going to be more consistent. I just felt like there was a turning point after the All-Star break, kind of going into the All-Star break, that things changed for him, and I feel like there was a lot that we learned and he learned, and so my hope is that's going to be the big wow.
It could be. I mean, he skipped the All-Star game.
Yeah,
which
it seemed like he kind of clicked from that point forward.
He did, and what a big move for a guy who at the time was 24 years old. You get named to the All-Star team, and he's like, you know what, I'm gonna take a pass on that, get myself ready for the second half of the season. That's an incredibly mature move on his part. Yeah. Could have been out there hanging out with the buddies on all the other teams and, living that weekend and soaking up the attention and all of that, all the fun that goes along with it, and just said, no, I'm gonna kick back here. I'm gonna work on my game, make sure I'm ready for the second half. And he talked about what finally clicked for him late last year when he was speaking with Brock and Salk.
Being myself a little bit more, being myself. Like I said, there's a lot of expectations around me and things like that. And to be honest, I let go of all that. I'm gonna be myself regardless of what people might not want to think about me, because at the end of the day, that's people's opinion. I can't control that, and that's something that really came to me last year. I feel like since I got to the big leagues, there was a lot of expectations, the way that I should be, or things like that. And as a 21-year-old, you don't know a lot of things, and once they keep going on and on and on, you reach a point as a 24-year-old, be okay, now let me make this stop and let's see who I really am as a person, and what I really want to bring to the field, and who was actually that kid that came to the minors, that loved the game of baseball, and all those things. And I feel that's what really went on around that time.
Yeah, that's you're watching this guy grow up right in front of you.
Yeah, well, and knowing yourself. I mean, that as an athlete, that is huge. Know thyself. You know what you can and can't do. And I think we're going to hear from JP here. I think he was talking a little bit about, some of the pitch selection and things like that, what he's swinging at, and maybe that'll be different. But, it just sounds like he's obviously aware of it. And, and everybody's on a different path. And hopefully we're not having to, go back and look at, okay, let's look at April, May, June, and then July he takes off, and that it's more sort of balanced out.
Yeah, and in the end, his second 30-30 season, tied his career high in home runs, 32 home runs on the season. Hit 267, which led the team, and 324 on base, had a 6.8 WAR last year. So we sort of talk about him like, all right, is he going to step it up? He had a pretty representative season, to say the very least. Now, yeah, we know how it goes. It gets off to a slow start. He does a lot of damage in a short amount of time, typically in the second half. But, you're not talking about a guy who was just floundering last year, and you're going, all right, well, what's he going to be this year? I mean, look at the season he had in the production. So we'll see what he ultimately becomes this season, and how much the WBC could hopefully get that engine started quicker. And just his mentality, just being more mature, to see how much that kicks in. All right, let's take two.
Mariners Diamondbacks tonight. Coverage begins at 5 o'clock right here on Seattle Sports. 5:10 first pitch. Then the buzz that has already begun for a few days now. It culminates tomorrow. Colt Emerson makes his first professional appearance. 12:10 first pitch in Peoria against the Padres.
We were talking to Gary Hill and others about, and Shannon Dreyer. Everybody's very excited about the two young pitchers out there, but Colt Anderson is the one they're talking about looking like he's pro ball ready. He's he's a guy that by all accounts, we haven't been out there to see him, but just looking at his bullpen and some of the hitters that have stood in against him, and just a lot of positivity, to say the very least. A lot of optimism about how far along he already is.
Yeah, just 21 years old again. It's cool. I mean, you have what an awesome rotation that you have right now, but just being able to work this kid in and see if they're able to, capture his best stuff, and that he matures quickly. It's really cool. It kind of feels like more we talk about, especially the young guys. Who's the other guy? Ryan Sloan. Yeah, I mean, it's just like an embarrassment of riches.
All right, so the franchise tag deadline is Tuesday. Cowboys put the franchise tag on George Pickens today. It would be a $27.298 million cap hit if Pickens ends up playing under the tag this season.
Yeah, they what was the official designation? Because he can still talk to other teams.
Non-exclusive.
That's right. So he can talk to other teams, and they have the right to match any offer. And if they don't, I believe they get 2 first-round picks. So Cowboys put themselves in a good position. I mean, as big as that number is, we've talked about it in relation to JSN, who wants to be the highest paid receiver in the league, and that AAV right now belongs to Jamar Chase at just over $40 million per season.
Sheesh.
So considering what Pickens did for that team, 27.2, it's not a bad number for the Cowboys.
Yeah, 1,429 yards, 9 touchdowns, and he's been pretty solid.
Take Two is brought to you by Swedish Cyberknife. Treat prostate cancer with Swedish Cyberknife. Swedish.org/cyberknife prostate. It sounds like it might be tougher than expected for the Seahawks to re-sign Ken Walker. We'll get into that and how it could affect their draft strategy coming up next with Wyman and Bob at Seattle Sports on 710.
The first week of Seattle sports at Mariners spring training.
Man, best week of our year.
Brendan said it yesterday. We're not afraid to say World Series.
Brock and Salk definitely caught the vibe.
Julio Rodriguez, who sits down with us right now.
Being able to be so close to something so special really made this team hungry.
Cal Raleigh.
This isn't a fun, cute story anymore. This is who we want to be.
Beginning Monday, March 9th, Wyman and Bob are in Peoria.
I cannot wait to get down there.
Every exclusive interview from Mariners spring training is on the Seattle Sports YouTube page.
Hey, Brock Hewitt here with my buddy, Dr. Daniel Nelson from Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine. The stem cell therapy you did on my knee was a game changer. But Dr. Dan, people ask me all the time if you're seeing the same kind of success treating neck and back pain with stem cell therapy.
Great question, Brock. As you know from your experience, we've had tremendous success treating major joints like hips, knees, and shoulders, but we've also seen excellent results treating neck and lower back pain. In fact, we're the only clinic in the Seattle area offering image-guided stem cell and PRP injection therapy specifically for neck and low back pain.
How cool is that? If joint, neck, or back pain is holding you back, call Dr. Daniel Nelson at Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine and find out if stem cell therapy may be right for you. Dr. Dan here is the only doctor with over 30 years of experience in pain medicine techniques, including stem cell therapy. Call Dr. Daniel Nelson, MD, at 425-823-4000 or visit danielnelsonmd.com. That's 425-823-4000 or danielnelsonmd.com.
If you actually are the person that will take care of them after the fact, if you actually will be there for them, if you will pick up your phone, then they come back to you.
Lee Johnson Auto Family, the LJ way.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell, definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit info kit. 800-290-7100. That's 800-290-7100.
Jackson Hewitt knows taxes are complicated, and with multiple jobs and tax forms, they're like Sonata complicated. Our no surprise pricing keeps things simple. Jackson Hewitt does your taxes for only $149 or less. And since we know all the new tax codes, you could get thousands back. So what are you waiting for? Hurry. File with Jackson Hewitt today for only $149 or less, guaranteed. Limited time offer for new clients on federal returns. Participating locations only. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com/149.
I've always wanted to learn French, but the app I tried didn't help.
If you want to memorize words in another language, there's an app for that. But if you want to really learn another language, there's Babbel. Babbel was designed by over 200 language learning experts to be the most effective way to learn another language.
With other language learning apps, I was just playing games. I wasn't really learning. Babbel's different. Every time I open the app, I can choose to work on my writing, speaking, or listening. And it saves my mistakes for me to review, so I'm constantly improving. Babbel feels like it was created intentionally by people who really know what you need to learn another language. Before Babbel, I thought I just wasn't good with languages. But now I'm speaking French. Tout ça, c'est grâce à Babbel.
Want to really learn another language? Save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription when you sign up at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com to save up to 50%. Babbel.com.
It's Olympic Hot Tub's floor model finale. Don't experience FOMO. Get in now and save thousands on remaining 2025 floor model hot tubs. But hurry, our floor model finale ends February 28th. OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Home of your Super Bowl champion Seattle Seahawks.
They are bringing the Lombardi back to the Northwest.
Seattle Sports.
High five. Up top.
Dave's company just got the 5-year price lock guarantee from Comcast Business. Yeah! It's 5 years of gig speed internet, advanced security, and a great rate that won't change. All from the company with 99.9% network reliability. Heck yeah! He hasn't given this many high fives since Deborah brought in her famous banana bread. Yes! The Comcast Business 5-year price lock guarantee. Powering 5 years of savings, powering possibilities.
And it's hurting, but I am not stopping. Woo! For a limited time, now through March 29th, switch to Comcast Business to lock in your rate for 5 years and get a $500 prepaid card on a qualifying gig bundle. Or ask how to get started with 150 megabit internet and Security Edge for $59.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Don't wait. Call today. Restrictions apply. New customers only. 1-year contract required for guaranteed rate. Paperless billing and automatic payments with bank account required. 5-year pricing applies to monthly service charge excluding taxes and fees.
Hey, it's Mike Salk here. The championship trophy is back in Seattle where it belongs. The big game is in the rear view, and the next big moment is going to be baseball's opening day. Well, why don't you make a commitment right now to look and feel your very best by then? People all over the Northwest could lose 20, 30, 40, maybe 50 pounds just by the start of baseball season. And it starts by calling Eastside Weight Loss Clinic. A 15-minute phone call is all it takes to get started. I did this program. I lost 10 pounds in the first week. I lost about 35 pounds in just 8 weeks. Here's what I didn't have to do. Fight for space in a crowded gym with all those New Year's resolutioners. No pills, no injections, no fake bland box meals or anything like that. Just real food that you buy at the grocery store with delicious recipes, great coaching, support, and accountability. Do it for yourself this year. Call Eastside Weight Loss Clinic or go to eastsideweightlossclinic.com. Dr. Ryan Coogan, D.C. Results may vary.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Wyman and Bob.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Text line is there for you at 866-979-3776. Remember, we've got Mean Text coming up today at 4:45. Got our in-studio visitors hanging out in the control room. Unfortunately, they got to sit next to Lefko the entire time, so hopefully it's not that disruptive to their lives. But cool to have them in here. Very, very cool. They'll they'll be able to experience the majesty of this show up close and personal. What a cool thing, right? It's Christmas come early for everybody.
I would think so, but I don't know. Sitting and watching somebody do radio, if that's your thing, man, we appreciate having you guys in. Really do.
I'm sure Lefko's back there dazzling him with anecdotes and all kinds of cool thoughts. And of course, Matt is going to completely ignore him. But, yeah, it's good to have them in here, and hopefully they enjoy their time here. Sit next to Matt and talk to him. He enjoys people. He really likes people. So talk to him about sports. He likes to talk about fantasy football.
Oh, I'm busy, Bob. I got that audio file to edit. Sorry, I just don't have time.
I like how Max just walks right over, takes you seriously, and says, "Yeah, okay, I'm going to go
a chair
sit next to Matt."
Ask him sports questions. He really that in fishing. Just whatever you got.
Oh yeah.
Meanwhile, again, text line is there for you at 866-979-3776. We're looking at free agents. We've talked a lot about K9 and what his future could be with the Seahawks. Is it going to happen? Are they going to re-sign him? There's certainly going to be interest in him from other teams out there. And Matthew Berry from NBC Sports, he's talking about, he was doing a social media video from the Combine and talking about Ken Walker. And according to him, he doesn't feel like the Seahawks are in a position where they want to outbid teams for his services.
About Super Bowl MVP Ken Walker III, KW3. Now, this is again, I'm not a journalist. I'm not reporting this as news. I'm just telling you rumors that I heard. But I'll tell you that the thought process that I heard from one source was that the Seahawks are not going to franchise tag him, that they're basically going to say, like, listen, we love you, but you should go out there and get paid. If somebody will give you $13, $12 million, you should take it. But if you're down in the $10 million range, come back and talk to us, because we'll bring you back at that number. But I think obviously there's going to be a lot of interest in his services. And a sleeper team that I heard, which I was just like, really? The New York Football Giants. Coach Harbaugh. Don't know about Cam Scadaboo's health as well.
That's interesting. Yeah, I mean, I think it's hard for people to process that because he was the Super Bowl MVP, right? And he ran for 300 yards in the playoffs. But you know, now you've got a new offensive coordinator, and I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure how they value him. And I know that I was pretty convinced when Schneider made that joke the day of the parade, where he's like, you know, kind of joking around about it. I felt like maybe that's a sign that he is, you know, serious about re-signing him and that it's not going to be a problem. But yeah, I'm just looking at the year that he had, and just, you know, they stuck with the run. There's no question about it. But, you know, he had a good game in the second game of the year against Pittsburgh. So, you know, and then, you know, he ran for 60, 90, 80, somewhere in those, you know, middle range of the season, where they didn't really even have the run game going yet. You know, that was something that they were chipping away at, and they finally finished in the top 10, I think. But they were number 3 as far as attempts go, and so, you know, he was still getting it done early on in the season. And then, you know, of course, at the end of the year, he had a 100-yard game against the Rams in that Thursday night game, and then, you know, he took off in the playoffs.
It's going to be an interesting situation for them, because if you look at their quarterback or their running back spot, they're not in good shape. If you don't have K9, you're not in good shape, because Zach Charbonnet is coming off a serious knee injury. We don't know if when he's going to be ready. You got Kenny McIntosh, who suffered a severe knee injury. Mm-hmm. You got George Holani.
Yeah, George Holani, you know, he showed some good things at the end, but there's not enough there. There's not enough there to say, oh, okay, well, we'll go this direction. And then, you know, Kenny Mack, I love bringing up Kenny McIntosh, and maybe he is, maybe Brian Fleury looks at him and goes, oh man, that's exactly the kind of running back that we need in this system or whatever, but there's nothing really to go on there.
Yeah, and it's, look, I know the running back position, depending on who you talk to, they feel like it's expendable. They feel like, hey, we can find quality running backs late in the draft. We're not going to pay, you know, and if that's your philosophy, okay, as long as you feel certain you can replace that production with somebody out of the draft or a free agent or whoever, you know, you deem worthy of that. It's just, this guy showed you not just the playoffs. I mean, leading into the playoffs, he was on quite a tear, and he was carrying the load certainly for the running attack, and at times the offense as a whole. I mean, you know, the Super Bowl, he was the biggest weapon they had. It wasn't as if Sam Darnold was ripping the ball up and down the field.
Yeah.
That was Ken Walker getting him in position to kick those field goals. So he's definitely got value. I'd love to see him come back. I'm not advocating for, well, pay him $14 million a year, $15 million. I'm not saying that. And if that's what he gets elsewhere, then hey, good on him. That's great.
Mm-hmm.
But I hope they're making a concerted effort to let him know, look, we want you back. Yeah. We want you back. We can't go to this level, whatever that number is, but you're a valuable part of this team because they just don't have the answers behind him as we sit.
Yeah, it will be I think it's become one of the more intriguing positions in the NFL just because, I mean, I don't know, it's kind of an old-fashioned thing. I mean, the running backs used to be the heroes. Now it's quarterbacks and receivers. And so, but, also the durability, always an issue. And that's why guys like Frank Gore stand out because they, just got it done year after year after year. It's hard to stay healthy. So, again, I don't want him to go. That's for sure. I think Sharps is a great back, but, he's probably going to be off schedule. And then, Kenny Mack and Helani, don't really know. I think it would be weird if they said, hey, I think we can replace him in the draft.
Well, and that's the other part of the problem. As it sits without him, you've got no certainty at that spot as you sit. Now, you're going to add people, whether free agents, draft, what have you. But the problem is, as we sit, you only have 4 draft picks.
Mm-hmm.
And we're hearing the rumors of D-Law potentially retiring. The belief is Mafe is not coming back. All of the age is on your D-line. So you've got to start building up that depth behind those guys for when they do move on, for when Jaron Reed is no longer Jaron Reed and when Leonard Williams is no longer Leonard Williams. You hopefully are going to have those guys ready to assume those roles, and they're going to be, maybe guys that have been here for a year or two, learning behind those guys, and they're ready to jump in and take those spots. But, you've certainly got a plan for the departure of those guys eventually, and maybe D-Law is this offseason. We'll find out. But you got to address that and this running back spot, and as we sit, you've got 4 picks.
Yeah.
So I feel like that the year, 2021, they had 3 picks. And I was certain there's no way John is going to go with just 3 picks. He's going to trade back and turn these into more picks, and he's going to find a way to, come out of this with 5, 6, 7 picks. No, they stuck with 3.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that was a horrible draft because none of them worked out. But
and a lot of that was pandemic affected, right? That draft class. So I think John thought that it was, as far as the value of what he sees year after year, that was one of those seasons where he didn't think that there was, that much talent. So, but wouldn't it be interesting if they did, he does sign somewhere else and they draft in the second round another running back?
The third time they do that?
Charbonnet and K9 in the last, 3 years?
Yeah. I mean, and they didn't have a first-round pick that year because I believe their first pick was D. Eskridge in the second round,
mm-hmm.
right? They took him.
He was he the first or second pick of the second round or no?
I'm trying to. I got to look it up here, but yeah, I mean, that was the year they went with D. Eskridge, Trey Brown, and Stone Forsythe.
Yeah,
and none of them are on the team now.
No, they're not.
And you really didn't get much out of any of them. It seemed like Trey Brown was going to be the guy. D. Eskridge was the 24th pick in the second round.
Gotcha.
So
I thought he was a high second rounder, but yeah, he certainly didn't work out. I mean, he got that concussion, and then that was it. I do remember him being like one of those guys that worked really hard. I mean, he was a guy that would try to get in there when Bobby Wagner was in there and Russell Wilson, and just did not work out for him.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting because the strength of your team was your D-line, but that's where all of your age is right now, and you've got uncertainty with D-Law, Mafe. So your depth is going to be tested potentially. So you got to address that, and the running back position. If you don't have K9, it doesn't look good. There's no certainty there. So we'll see how John works his magic when it comes to that. Meanwhile, when it comes to sports opinions, it's never too late to admit you're wrong, which is especially important for some of our listeners. We'll get into what that is coming up next with Wyman and Bob. Seattle Sports on 710.
The first week of Seattle sports at Mariner spring training?
Man, best week of our year.
Brendan said it yesterday. We're not afraid to say World Series.
Brock and Salk definitely caught the vibe.
Julio Rodriguez, who sits down with us right now.
Being able to be so close to something so special really made this team hungry.
Cal Raleigh.
This isn't a fun, cute story anymore. This is who we want to be.
Beginning Monday, March 9th, Wyman and Bob are in Peoria.
I cannot wait to get down there.
Every exclusive interview from Mariner spring training is on the Seattle Sports YouTube page.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
ZipRecruiter. Progressive presents a guided meditation.
Hear the birds sing. A chipmunk nibbling on an acorn. Smell the pine needles gently falling into your living room as the breeze blows through the gaping hole in your roof. Gaze up at that broken tree branch and relax because you bundled your home and auto with Progressive and have the peace of mind of 24/7 protection. So relaxing.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell, definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit info kit. 800-290-7100. That's 800-290-7100.
After years of wear and tear, Joe had osteoarthritis in his wrists and shoulders.
I've pretty much worked out my whole life. I actually decided I'm going to train for a half Ironman triathlon.
The pain was interfering with every part of his life.
Basically, can't sleep, causing those kind of problems, very limited movement.
Joe had surgery, but it wasn't the fix he was looking for.
The doctor told me, he's like, hey, this is just going to be a partial fix. You're going to eventually need joint replacement.
That's when he decided to see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine for stem cell therapy.
And they're just getting better. I can basically do full motion. I don't have really any pain.
What kinds of things are you able to do now that you weren't before?
I like to golf, and it definitely has made my golf game not as painful. And sleeping. I'm sleeping better because I don't have that aching at night going on and have to roll over.
So, are you recommending this to others?
Oh, everybody I talk to. Yeah, it's a no-brainer.
Before you choose surgery, consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. Schedule your consultation at drmarkwagnermd.com.
Do you like helping others? Become a Shiva volunteer. In Pierce County, join the hundreds of volunteers across Washington state who help over 90,000 people each year with their Medicare options and questions. You don't have to know Medicare. We'll teach you. And if you're bilingual, even better. For more information and how to apply, call Shiva at 1-800-562-6900 or go to insurance.wa.gov.
Sponsored by the Office of the Insurance Commissioner and aired by the Washington State Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Listen every day to the Bump and Stacy Show for headline rewrites. Powered by Bay Alarm Security Services. Security systems and fire alarms for every business. Bay Alarm, we got you.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other, so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio. So we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
Well, what other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Do you need glasses or contacts and you're now at the age where you also need readers? K2 Vision RLE is the permanent solution to eliminate the need for all those. Hey, it's Doctors King and Kopstein from K2 Vision. Andy, for those nearing age 50 or so, refractive lens exchange can be a great alternative to LASIK.
That's right, Joe. K2 Vision RLE is a terrific permanent solution for a lifetime of great vision. The older we get, we experience the dysfunction of our natural lens, which affects both distance vision and requires the use of reading glasses. Plus, after K2 Vision RLE, you will never develop a cataract.
And like LASIK, K2 Vision RLE is quick and painless. The question is, which procedure is right for you?
With the experience of over 150,000 procedures, the doctors at K2 Vision will know which procedure is best for you. Schedule your free Zoom consultation today at k2visionrle.com. K2 Vision RLE. No readers, glasses, contacts, or cataracts.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Wyman and Bob.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Text line is there, 866-979-3776. A reminder that we've got mean text coming up today at 4:45, so you've got a little less time to get creative with the mean things you want to say to us. We'll do Best of the Rest at 4 o'clock. Paul Moyer will join us at the top of the hour at 3 o'clock for his weekly conversation, so make sure you stay tuned for that. Meanwhile, apparently there was a listener that texted the Sam Darnold Apology Form.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not familiar with the origins of this, but
I'm not either. I think it was on like Instagram.
Is that right?
Yeah, and I was able to send that to Lefko somehow. How about that?
You are really technologically advanced. That's
it's amazing.
So it says, do you owe Sam Darnold an apology? Reasons for the behavior included, and I guess you're able to check these boxes. The media convinced me he chokes in big games, labeled him a bust too early. I thought he would keep seeing ghosts. I thought his Vikings season was a fluke. The Jets made me think he sucked. I don't trust gingers. And the form ends with saying, I will hereby respect Sam Darnold and will not talk down on the future first ballot Hall of Famer. Yeah, so we're I guess for our listeners, were you guys feeling any of these things? Were you somebody that thought that season with the Vikings was a fluke? He's going to keep seeing ghosts. I think the most popular one I would guess, if people were being serious, is the media convinced me he chokes in big games.
Yeah, but I mean, if you look at it, it was hard to make a case. I'm just saying, like, I thought he was going to be fine. Did I think, oh, this is the guy that's going to lead us to a Super Bowl win? No. 75, 60% maybe, something like that. I mean, I'm not like Moyer.
I was 50-50 down the middle. I had no idea what we were getting.
Yeah. I just thought a little bit more likely because he did have that game against the Rams when he was with Minnesota. And then, it didn't exactly support it when we played the Rams and he threw 4 interceptions. And really, you look, I mean, he had the game of his life in the NFC Championship game, but if you look at that,
that was the Super Bowl.
Yeah, those were the 2 best teams. No question. And you know what? I'd say the 49ers are the 3rd best. I mean, especially if you take away, some of the injuries that they had. But yeah, I thought it was somewhat fair that, the choke in big games thing, and I wouldn't use the word choke. It was just,
it didn't go well.
Maybe the Rams had his number, but the last example of that certainly says that he's shed that whole image.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that was an unfair. The choking in big games, I don't think we ever phrased it that way. But we talked about, look, here's the reality. This is an opinion. This is a statement of facts. The final 2 games of the Viking season were the most consequential for that team.
Right.
He did not play well in either. Now, it doesn't mean it was all his fault. The O-line had issues. They had different problems with that team. But ultimately, those were not great performances by any stretch. Mm-hmm. And then when he got to the Rams game, he looked terrible. It was the worst game of his time. here. Certainly. I mean, 4 picks. It was a brutal game. So you had 3 games sitting there staring you in the face going, well, this kind of confirms my skepticism. You know, if you were a skeptic coming in or a doubter or a hater, whatever label you want to put on there, you had some ammunition.
Yeah.
But when it mattered most, and when you had to beat the Rams to get to the Super Bowl, I mean, you got through the playoffs. You played well, played efficient, didn't light it up, but played well and efficient, didn't turn the ball over against the 49ers in either the final of the regular season and the first game of the playoffs.
He did what he had to.
Did what he had to, and then lit it up against the second-best team in the NFL.
Yeah.
And then...
What was it, 364, 3 touchdowns, 0
no turnovers.
Yeah.
And then the Super Bowl was more of his 49ers performance where he did what he had to.
Yep.
And so, yeah, I would think for most fans, if they were checking one of these boxes, the reasons for the behavior, why you owe Sam an apology, I would think the first one. And I don't know if it's the media convinced me he chokes.
Right.
I think if you were paying attention to those games, you'd go, well, yeah. I mean, he was giving me reason to doubt him in those big games that had so much consequence attached to him.
Yeah, and there was a lot of talking heads that we're talking about exactly that, and like you said, using the word choke. I mean,
that was Cam Newton.
A little bit harsh.
I think his giant hat was on too tight. But
yeah, exactly.
That's a guy who should not be talking to anybody about choking.
Exactly. Well, and really, you go back and look at that second game. I mean, he ends up winning the game for him, but he threw 2 picks in that game.
Yeah,
I think he got sacked 4 times in that one. But it wasn't like 9, but 4 sacks is kind of a lot. I think I was just looking in the book with our guy Max here, that's in the studio, that. I think they were 5th fewest. They had allowed the 5th fewest sacks this year. So, yeah, I mean, there was a couple that he could have gotten rid of there. But he ends up winning the game in overtime and staging a 16-point comeback, at least part of it. Big part of that was, of course, Rashid Shaheed. So, yeah, I mean, I think he's pretty much purged all of these things. I thought the funniest one was that the Jets made me think he sucked.
They make everybody look that way.
Exactly.
Who goes there and succeeds?
Yeah.
I mean, especially quarterbacks, whether you're Justin Fields, whether you're Zach Wilson, whether you're Sam Darnold, whether Aaron Rodgers goes there. it just does not end well for quarterbacks there. But John Schneider was speaking with Rich Eisen, talking about Darnold and saying he wants him to be the quarterback in Seattle for a long time.
Darnold, do you do anything with his contract, or you're not?
Are you a former player now?
No, I know. I don't mean to put you in a position here. No, you know how it works. Yeah. I mean, like you want to keep somebody there forever, but you also got a great contract.
We want to be our quarterback for a long time for sure. I mean, he came in and fit in just seamless. Everything everybody said about him, we didn't spend that much time with him when he was coming out of college because we knew he was going to get drafted so high.
Right.
But just to be able to talk to everybody at, like Scott Fritter and Dan Morgan and those guys in Carolina, and then the people with the Jets that have been there with the Jets, and then Minnesota, and then obviously our San Francisco guys too, to see him come in and just fit in right away and be that humble, tough leader. He's just got a really cool way about him.
Yeah, and he kind of touched on what we were talking about, Dave, when you were talking about these potential extensions for JSN and for Spoon and for all these other free agents out there. Sam Darnold is a guy that he's saying right there they want to keep around. He's on a very team-friendly deal right now. Very team-friendly. And it's not for a Super Bowl winning quarterback who had the season he had, he's a bargain right now. And I would imagine is going to want an extension that's more representative of a very good to, at times, elite quarterback.
Yeah. I love that John is on this kick of what's with the former players just saying just pay him. He said that to us yesterday. He's like, why is that? Why do the former players go just pay him? And he says that to Rich Eisen there. So we're gonna have to hit that one hard next week, definitely. But yeah, I mean it was a great move, gutsy move by Schneider. Going from Geno to Sam Darnold. I don't know. I guess my question will always be, what if Geno did say, okay, yeah, let's talk, or countered, or whatever. So I don't know. It's kind of an interesting one, but worked out great with Sam Darnold. They did a great job with him.
Meanwhile, his group chat is already up and buzzing. We'll hear what he and the Abandoned Boys think about the Mariners and the Seahawks, of course. Paul Moyer is going to join us for his weekly conversation. Coming up next with Wyman and Bob at Seattle Sports on 710.
Brock and Salk at Mariners spring training.
With Julio Rodriguez, who sits down with us right now. How long did that loss, that linger for a day, a week, a month?
So once you get a taste of like that, what an actual playoff is, and you experience it as a team, I feel like you just get addicted to it. That gets addicting, at least for me, you know. And like being able to be so close to something so special as a group, I think it really made this team hungry.
Catch every one of Brock and Salk's interviews from Mariners spring training on the Seattle Sports YouTube channel.
Stacy here. Sell your car to Wayscar Ford, and when they resell it, they share half their profit with you. That's right. Sell your car to Wayscar Ford, Isuzu, and Auburn. They'll pay you today for your car, and once they resell it, they'll share half their profit with you. WayscarFord.com.
Hey, Brock Hewitt here with my buddy, Dr. Daniel Nelson from Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine. The stem cell therapy you did on my knee was a game changer. But Dr. Dan, people ask me all the time if you're seeing the same kind of success treating neck and back pain with stem cell therapy.
Great question, Brock. As you know from your experience, we've had tremendous success treating major joints like hips, knees, and shoulders, but we've also seen excellent results treating neck and lower back pain. In fact, we're the only clinic in the Seattle area offering image-guided stem cell and PRP injection therapy specifically for neck and low back pain.
How cool is that? If joint, neck, or back pain is holding you back, call Dr. Daniel Nelson at Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine and find out if stem cell therapy may be right for you. Dr. Dan here is the only doctor with over 30 years of experience in pain medicine techniques, including stem cell therapy. Call Dr. Daniel Nelson, MD, at 425-823-4000 or visit danielnelsonmd.com. That's 425-823-4000 or danielnelsonmd.com.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at endurancewarranty.com. Auto repair bills are through the roof. $3,000 to replace the transmission, $4,000 for a blown engine. And if your manufacturer's warranty is expired, you'll have to cover it all out of pocket. You need an Endurance Auto Protection Plan. No matter what the mileage, if your car is under 20 years old, Endurance can get you covered on the engine, electrical system, transmission, AC, drivetrain, and more. Endurance has plans for any budget. Repairs can be done at the certified mechanic of your choice, and they're paid directly with no middleman. Plans cover 24/7 roadside assistance, towing, battery jumps, fuel deliveries, tire changes, lockout services, and a 30-day money-back guarantee. Act now and get our elite benefits, including complete tire care and key fob replacement. A $2,000 value at no extra cost. With Endurance, you could never pay for covered auto repairs again, so call now for your free quote. Call 800-378-7241. 800-378-7241. Again, that's 800-378-7241.
Robert was in big trouble with the IRS.
Yes, I owed them a lot of money, over $52,000.
Then he heard about Civic Tax Relief.
They took great care of me. It went really quick. $52,000 I owed, and they had a payoff for $100, and the IRS accepted it. Man.
Off the hook for just $100?
Civic Tax Relief will take care of you. Give them a call.
Call Civic Tax Relief now for your free confidential consultation. 800-881-4555. 800-881-4555. Individual results may vary. Visit civictaxrelief.com for more information.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Trust is everything. Earning it takes years. Losing it takes 5 seconds.
Lee Johnson Auto Family.
Running a business means wearing multiple hats. So if you're like me, you probably started out using your personal phone, taking client calls and texts nonstop. As my business grew, I needed something smarter. That's when I switched to Quo, the #1 business phone system. Quo works right on your phone or computer. No carrying 2 phones, no clunky landline, just one easy app you can try for free. Your team can share one number and handle calls and texts together like a shared inbox. Any teammate can jump into the conversation so customers get faster responses. And Quo's AI assistant summarizes your calls and responds to customers 24/7, so you never miss a lead or opportunity. All this starts at just $15 a month. That's basically 2 coffees. You can even keep your current business phone number. Find out why 90,000 businesses trust Quo. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try Quo for free at quo.com/sports. That's quo.com/sports to try Quo free. QUO.com/SPORTS.
Your old furnace ain't nice, and your toes are like ice. Dayandnight.net. Save $1,700 when you have Day and Night match your current furnace with a qualifying AC or heat pump.
Your furnace is lonely all by itself, but it doesn't have to be. With our Matchmaker Special, we'll match your furnace with a perfect air conditioner or heat pump to keep your furnace company and your home comfy all year round.
Match your furnace to a qualifying cooling system and save $1,700.
Dayandnight.net.
Home of your Super Bowl champion Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
They are bringing the Lombardi back to the Northwest. This is the power of 12 as one, man.
KIRO AM Seattle and KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
The Atlanta Falcons dismissed LaTroy Lewis from his role as assistant defensive line coach today after sexual assault allegations surfaced against him. The Ann Arbor Police Department confirmed today that it's currently investigating allegations of sexual assault against Lewis. This stems back to his time as a coach on the Michigan football staff. Lewis did not immediately respond to a request for comment, but he is being accused of meeting somebody on a dating app and becoming increasingly aggressive and apparently taking things a bit too far, to say the very least. So he has been dismissed from his role with the Atlanta Falcons.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
This hour of Wyman and Bob is brought to you by K2 Vision RLE.
This is the moment many wait for.
The most entertaining.
A man of wisdom, a man of experience, Dave.
The most informative.
To bring light to a dark subject. To bring positivity to a negative world.
The incredible Paul Moyer.
Moyer out.
He's here, everybody. Look forward to the conversation each and every week. He's with us on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline. The one, the only, Paul Moyer is here with us. Hello, Paul.
Oh, man. How you guys doing? You guys down south?
No, we're in Seattle. We're here
you are. Okay.
Through next week. We go there. We'll be in Arizona March 9th.
That's good. A good time for it. I heard just talked with a couple of my friends down in Scottsdale. Said it was 94 today, so
Jeez.
You guys you'll be good. Just put a little 30 on. Maybe Dave, go to a tanning bed a couple of days before so you don't get those sock burns. Ones where you bring your socks up to the calf and then you got all the white down below after.
Who do you think I am, Brock Heward? You think I'm going to go to a tanning salon? Come on.
You can have my membership.
Jeez.
or use my membership. They'll think you're Paul.
Yeah. Hey, is the text line the text group text burning up right now? Do you guys get the abandoned boys going during the spring training element of the season, or do you wait for the regular season to start?
No, we're on it hard. I mean, and it's already. I'm like, wow, we're already emotional. We just started spring training. What are we doing? All of a sudden, Colt Emerson has a bad game. When it's spring training first started, and, it's not. It's too big for him. And then the last 2 games, his average now is up to over 300. He's going to be our future. He's going to be pushing for the starting shortstop job. No, they're, us. I mean, 48 hours, it's time to move on to the next sport.
Yeah, there's no football talk, right? I mean, are people allowed to talk about, like, the combine or anything?
Yeah. That never goes away. It's just not – I don't know. Actually, Dave, that's actually a good question because I think the Seahawks still are front and center. They're always front and center. There's always something going on. You got the draft. You got the OTAs. Then camp starts, and obviously season all the way through the Super Bowl. But I think this is such an interesting off season because you don't normally have 4 or 5 free agents, unrestricted free agents, that you want all of them back. And so I think it's intriguing. I mean, they have money. You got new coaches. So, yeah, I mean, we're certainly talking a lot about the Seahawks, but front and center is still the Mariners right now. I'm excited. I'm excited for the World Baseball, whatever that tournament is. I think that's going to be fun, too. So, yeah.
Whatever it's called, I'm super excited for it.
Yeah.
Well, you know,
what's in a name?
Not in the world every day, but what is the World
Baseball Classic, yeah.
Okay, well, that's close.
Yeah, you were close. You had two of the words.
Yeah.
That's all we
Yeah,
needed.
that's
World
awesome.
and baseball. That's it. That's all we needed. Hey, I was actually planning on asking you pretty much all Mariner questions, but real quick, just the combine. I don't know what your interest has been in that in the past, but it kind of seems like that it's sort of waning. The interest is waning for, not only the players, but also some of the executives like Schneider. He didn't stay out there. You can do a lot of the stuff on Zoom and watch it on TV. I don't know how much you've paid attention to it. It's kind of fun to watch. I was watching this linebacker run he had like a 41 inch vertical, and it's just ridiculous speed and everything. And it's kind of a novelty, but I don't know how important it was. How many combines did you go to as a coach?
I think all of them, but back then there was two things. One, you had a chance to interview the players, and that was big. I think the other one was just getting the chance to network with other coaches. That was important. But I do know a few years ago, and I think the Seahawks were one of them, where they said, you know what, we got too many other things going on. We're not going to bring all of our coaches here anymore. And, because of technology and with the guys not running like they used to. It used to be everybody ran. Now these guys wait until they're in perfect shape and they have their track. I don't get that much out of the combines. I mean, to me, it's all about film. But I do like to see how they compete. You want to see 40 times. Dave, we talked about the difference between a guy who runs a 4.5 and a 4.4. You would never know.
Right.
You couldn't tell if one guy just ran a 40 and the next guy ran a 40. You would not know who ran a 4.4 and who ran a 4.5 because it's a step, barely.
Yeah.
And so, but I think there are some things that it matters. You want to see guys throw, but everybody's going to have their pro day. The ones you're really looking at. I think the Seahawks, you heard John Schneider say last year, he brought his numbers down to the guys that they were going to, really have to monitor. And because you can't be an expert at 500 players. Mm-hmm. You got to pick your guys, and then you got to really start digging into the film and come with a census on it. So, but I'm excited. I think it's going to be interesting. I heard you guys talk about Ken Walker.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to be fascinating too, because if he doesn't have the kind of playoffs he had, did he make an extra $2-3 million a year because of the playoffs and being the MVP? We'll see. But there's so many running backs out there. I was watching this guy, Mike Washington from Arkansas. Just go put his highlight reel on. The guy's 6'2", 230 pounds, and he can run. And I'm like, yeah, I'll take him. And they're projecting him as a third-day mid-round pick. Maybe it drops to the second day. We found some great running backs, not in the first round. We found them in mid-rounds before, certainly second, third round. So whatever happens, we're going to find a good running back because they're committed to running.
Well, yeah, Chris Carson was a seventh-round running back, and if not for injury, I mean, he was a hell of a running back. But the problem is, just looking at their roster as it sits, you don't have any certainty there because you don't know when Charbonnet is going to be ready and what's he going to be like when he comes back. Is he good as new, or does it take a while? You got George Holani, and that's it. Kenny McIntosh is coming off a serious knee injury as well. We have no idea what he's going to be, and you only have 4 picks as we sit right now. So, trying to figure out, all right, is John going to, work his voodoo and turn that into 7 picks or 8 picks, or what's he going to do with it? Because you've got some age on the D line, Paul, and we've got, DeMarcus Lawrence may retire, maybe he doesn't. Not sure what's going on there. Mafe doesn't feel like he's going to come back, and your oldest players are on the line, so you kind of have to, plan for the depth, the future of that line, and replace some guys, and you'd have very little draft capital to fill all these holes as we sit right now.
Yeah, but we don't need, at least I don't think we need a lot of bodies. We're going to sign some of our free agents. You know, I like all of them. I'm curious what happens with Reek Woolen. My guess is, look, they're going to need to do something with Walker. We just don't have enough draft picks, and I think the Charbonnet one puts them in a tough situation. But I like Ken Walker. I mean, he's a good guy. All the guy does is work out. He breathes and eats football 24/7. That's the kind of guy you want. I don't think money will affect him. And we'll see how they structure it. You know, to take people into their 30 years old as a running back, you don't usually do that. But I think they'll load something up for a couple of years for him. And then they'll find somebody. I look at our D line. I go, yeah, they're old, but they're young. I mean, we do have Byron Murphy. We do have Ryan Mills. There's some young guys in there, and there's guys who are in their 30s. DeMarcus Lawrence is not retiring. He's not retiring. He just played some of the best football of his career. He's making really good money. He's with an organization he absolutely loves. He's just won a Super Bowl. You want to run that back. We have, again, I think the Mafe thing, you're right. You know, we probably don't bring him back. But we've got enough guys in that rotation to keep DeMarcus Lawrence fresh. So while these guys played incredible, you know, we're not asking them to play 85, 90% of the snaps. You know, they're getting 70, 60%. So I think we're still in really good spot. We have a lot of, obviously, cap space. And I've said forever, I go, look, we're not bringing the whole team back. It's just how many of these free agents are the Seahawks going to end up, re-signing?
Hey, Paul, I just wrote down 4 names, the names that we've been hearing the most as far as coming out of Mariner spring training. Pitchers, Ryan Sloan and Cade Anderson, and then Cole Young and Colt Emerson. So for you and the Abandoned Boys, who is like the most exciting and the most that you guys all think, well, mostly you, Paul, can contribute the most out of those 4 names?
Well, I mean, they love Emerson. I mean, they're all over that one, and rightfully so. He's just so young. And are you going to go in with basically 2 rookies starting? Yeah. They talked about pushing, having J.P. Crawford potentially being pushed at shortstop. I don't see that. I think actually I see J.P. hopefully having a bit of a rebound year because he didn't hit as well last year, and at least power-wise, and his defense took a little back, back step or whatever, step back.
Yeah.
There you go. So, look, I think the future is obviously these young guys. I think they're excited about all of them. I'm excited about this pitching staff. You throw in Anderson. I mean, we just saw that Bryce Miller's throwing 98, 97 pretty consistently right now. I mean, that's 2.5 miles an hour faster than last year, and as well as he pitched. I think this team, and why I'm so excited about it is we were hoping to get to the playoffs last year. We thought we had a good team. They made some great moves at the trade deadline, but we were still hoping and hoping. There's not hope anymore. Now there's an expectation. There's a maturity now about this team. There's an expectation about this team, and they know that they can handle that expectation. So every series they go into, they're really going to think that they're going to win that series. With our pitching staff and, again, the depth we're going to have in the bullpen, this is a really good team. And I think Donovan that was a great trade. I think he fits in perfect. He's a gym rat, all those things. So I think we're going to be really good. And that doesn't mean we won't do something at the trade deadline, but I'm really comfortable going into the season with our current roster.
What do you think they do if Colt Emerson continues, hypothetically? He's hitting 364 right now. Everybody we've talked to has been raving about his defense. He's been playing shortstop because JP's been sitting out with a sore shoulder, so he's getting a lot of turns out there. But let's just hypothetically say this is who he is through the rest of spring training. He just defense, offense, everything is shining. What do they do? I mean, if he makes the club, I mean, I'm curious what their approach is going to be Does he get a regular spot each day? Does he move around? Like one day they're going to have him at third, then one day they'll have him at second, they'll have him at short. Do they want to do that? He's a natural shortstop. I feel like if he makes the club, it's got to be as a starter almost. I don't think you want him just to sit on the bench and play, once a week.
Yeah, that's a great question. Because DePoto said, he challenged him that, look, you're here to compete for a spot on this team this year, right now. I think that's a challenge, as you mentioned. You're third now, unless they say, hey, you're better than Cole Young. And if that's the case, you flip them over to second base. But, you're right. I don't think there's enough at bats for a 20-year-old. And do you really want to have him be a platoon guy at 20 years old? I think he has to absolutely win the job to come out the gates and start, on this roster. But I'm also, you want to keep getting athletic. You want to have some size and speed, and that's what he has. You look at him and you go, oh, that's a baseball player. And, again, I love J.P. Crawford, but you go put those two guys side by side, you're going, okay, that's a really good baseball player. That is going to be a great baseball player. He's still got to go out and do it. Yeah, I think it's tough, but you know what? That's what spring training's for. Julio, they gave him a job when he may not have been completely ready at the time, and I know that they love Emerson. He's got a great name, Colt Emerson. Let's start him here right from the get go.
Yeah, he just sounds like a baseball player, doesn't he?
Colt.
Yeah, gotta love that. Hey, Paul, do you think Julio gets off to a faster start? Anything you've heard from him, or what you saw at the end of last year? A lot of people talking about the time off he took around the All-Star game. And that's really been the one complaint with Julio.
Yeah, he's looked good. His numbers, I haven't pulled up all the stats, but he's hitting pretty well in spring training. We know he's not a quick starter. I look at more of just his strikeouts. I think he had 3 strikeouts through spring training the last I looked. That's where I just look, if he can hit the ball, if he puts the bat on the ball, he's going to have great numbers. So I'm hoping so. I think he for the first time, because I think some of the younger guys who are there, and he talked about it, that they are professional, but better to be seen, not heard. Listen, I think he's starting to mentor these young guys, and he's young, but I think he's transitioned to, I'm truly the veteran. I'm the guy that they look to. And I think that's important for his confidence too, because as great as he is, confidence doesn't matter who you are. That's so important. And I think it is for Julio. When he's feeling it right, he's as good as there is. So I'm hopeful, Dave.
Yeah.
The nice thing about this lineup is you just need 3 or 4 guys to be hot with this pitching staff. I don't need all 9 of them at once. So as long as he gets hot at the right time, we're good.
He's hitting .556 right now with a .667 on base, which is going to translate to the regular season. So I think we're just fine.
Well, we know that ability's there.
Yeah, I'm kidding. I'm joking.
I was thinking the same thing with Colt Emerson, and I'm like, okay, I watched him. He had that triple. I think it was yesterday or the day before.
Yeah, it was yesterday.
It was one that the center fielder misplayed because of the spin from a lefty. But I loved it that he still was all excited when he got the triple, right? It could have been an out. It could have been a double. Whatever. But I loved it. And now I was thinking, they're just having fun. Can he just have fun when the regular season starts? Because it's just a completely different atmosphere. You got a sold-out crowd on the opening day. The guys you're facing today, most of them aren't even going to be on Major League rosters. They're going to go down into the minor leagues. You're going to face, the 5th starter is going to be great, every time you play him. Can that transition? So, but, again, I love this team. I think it's a good mix of youth with some veterans. I think it's the best team we've had going into a season. I think this team's better than last year going into the season. Maybe not at the end.
Yeah,
but
100%.
You could even you can even argue it's better than at the end, because I think we got a healthier pitching staff. I think we got a deeper bullpen. I think our positions are set. Everybody knows their position. I get it. Blanco not being there, that hurts. We'll see if he can duplicate what he did last year. But I just and then you mix in some youth, with Colt Emerson and Cole Young. I don't know, man. It feels good.
Dave and I were talking about this yesterday, trying to pick a dark horse to have a good season. Not Cal, not Julio, not Naylor or Rosarena, not the big names. Who's your dark horse to have maybe not an all-star season, maybe it will, but just somebody you're looking at going, I think this guy's going to be a contributor this year. He's going to be really solid.
Well, I think he did at the end of last year, and it's Dominic Canzone. He's got that sneaky power. Let me pull up him. He's batting .333 right now. He's got the kind of power that is you want, particularly in the outfield. I think he's that guy. I think he got his confidence last year, and once he got it, I mean, that's such a huge part of this game, is to be mentally, ready every single day. And now he's truly a veteran too. I think he's a guy. I think Cole Young. I mean, whoever ends up at second base is going to be a surprise, because they're going to have to earn it. It's a battle. So those would be my two that I think take another step to help this team, get to their ultimate goal, and that's a World Series.
Hey, Paul, who's the coolest person you met down at the Super Bowl when you were there? I haven't talked to you since the Super Bowl.
Cool. Mike McDonald.
Yeah, that's right. You had a conversation with him in the elevator, right?
You guys didn't talk at the parade?
Yeah, we went down the elevator. Yeah. You won't remember it, but I do. That was good. To talk a little golf in Texas. That was the biggest name. But just to see some of the old guys too. Jacob Green, Dave Craig. All the guys we played with. That's always fun. I'm trying to think any stars, or was there any? The way it was laid out, everything, where we stayed, you had to go into San Francisco. It was quite a jaunt over there to get to the NFL experience, and where you guys were doing your show.
Yeah.
We just didn't run into a lot of people. So it was just fun, though. That was the most enjoyable Super Bowl I've been to. The first one in 2013 was great, just because we won it for the first time, and the New York experience was awesome. But this one was just enjoyable. You liked everybody on the team. It wasn't like I liked the 2013 team, but you definitely had some drama with those guys. And they acted like they were superstars. This group is such a humble group, and then obviously for us to have a chance to be in the parade and all that stuff, it's just that whole week was so amazing. It's one I'll never forget.
Paul, as always, we appreciate you, my friend. Have a great weekend, and we will talk again next week.
Yeah, I'll prep more for the Mariners. I'll be better next Friday.
Oh, yeah, plenty of opinions. That's all we need.
You're rock solid. You're good, man. You're good. Have a good weekend, man.
Guys.
Thanks, Paul.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
There you go. There's Paul Moyer with us each and every week. If you guys missed any part of that conversation, you'll be able to find it on the podcast page after the show. Just go to seattlesports.com. Click the podcast tab, click on our picture. It'll be right there waiting for you. And you can click subscribe. It's totally free, and it just shows up for you every day. You don't even have to remember. It's perfect. Meanwhile, we've got proof that there's a difference between the best run and worst run organizations in the NFL. That's coming your way next with Wyman and Bob. It's Seattle Sports on 710.
The first week of Seattle sports at Mariner Spring Training.
Man, best week of our year.
Brendan said it yesterday. We're not afraid to say World Series.
Brock and Salk definitely caught the vibe.
Julio Rodriguez, he sits down with us right now.
Being able to be so close to something so special really made this team hungry.
Cal Raleigh.
This isn't a fun, cute story anymore. This is who we want to be.
Beginning Monday, March 9th, Wyman and Bob are in Peoria.
I cannot wait to get down there.
Every exclusive interview from Mariner Spring Training is on the Seattle Sports YouTube page.
Dave Wyman here to talk about a revolutionary treatment for prostate cancer. It's Swedish, called CyberKnife. And who better to explain it than Dr. Moyer? He's part of the most experienced prostate cancer treatment team in the Northwest, specializing in Swedish CyberKnife. Dr. Moyer, what can you tell us about a prostate cancer diagnosis?
Well, being diagnosed with prostate cancer is life-changing, but realize that there are a lot of excellent treatment options.
What makes CyberKnife so effective?
Well, the CyberKnife targets radiation precisely on the prostate cancer and spares the surrounding vital organs. Swedish CyberKnife patients report a better quality of life and fewer side effects during and after treatment compared to other options. Also, the treatment is completed in just 5 short sessions.
Accurate, precise, and with proven results. Learn more about CyberKnife for prostate cancer at swedish.org/cyberknifeprostate or give them a call, 206-320-7187. Treat prostate cancer with Swedish CyberKnife.
It's home show season. To celebrate, Lake Washington Windows and Doors is giving you 20% off and a lifetime installation warranty, plus 12 months to pay with 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest financing. See us at the home shows or visit lakewashingtonwindows.com.
Hi, I'm Justin Shirley. We offer 0 down, 0 interest, and 0 payments for 24 months on new roofs. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF now. State Roofing and Exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
Bring your visions to life with smart business buying tools and technology from Amazon Business. From fast, free shipping to in-depth buying insights and automated purchase approvals, we deliver everything you need to achieve your goals. Go to AmazonBusiness.com for support.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Jackson Hewitt knows taxes are complicated, and with multiple jobs and tax forms, they're like Sonata complicated. Our no surprise pricing keeps things simple. Jackson Hewitt does your taxes for only $149 or less. And since we know all the new tax codes, you could get thousands back. So what are you waiting for? Hurry. File with Jackson Hewitt today for only $149 or less, guaranteed. Limited time offer for new clients on federal returns. Participating locations only. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com/149. Jackson Hewitt knows taxes are complicated. And with multiple jobs and tax forms, they're like Sonata complicated. Our no surprise pricing keeps things simple. Jackson Hewitt does your taxes for only $149 or less. And since we know all the new tax codes, you could get thousands back. So what are you waiting for? Hurry. File with Jackson Hewitt today for only $149 or less, guaranteed. Limited time offer for new clients on federal returns. Participating locations only. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com/149.
Need life insurance but have diabetes, high blood pressure, or on anxiety meds? If you're a 50-year-old male, even porky, or with type 2 diabetes, $1 million of life insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. For affordable term life insurance, call Term Provider and speak with Big Lou at 800-777-1225. 800-777-1225 or visit biglou.com. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. 800-777-1225.
Don't miss Three Tree Roofing Mariners Cactus League Baseball.
This could be 2. JP has it, goes to the bag, steps on second, fires to first, double play.
Broadcast times at seattlesports.com.
Snapshot from Progressive wasn't created for just anybody. Oh no, we made it for you. Smooth accelerators. When that light turns green, you're off. Like a warm knife through firm butter. Going from 0 to the speed limit in an appropriate amount of time. Sure, your car has horsepower, but your horses prance around as silky smooth as your right foot. Fancy Prancerton. With Snapshot, safe drivers like you get personalized rates based on your driving habits. Sign up today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Snapshot not available in California or from all agents.
Jackson Hewitt handles your taxes and your stress. Inhale on no surprise price of $149 or less. Exhale, paying more for complicated taxes. You won't. Inhale, new tax law knowledge. Exhale, missing out on your biggest refund? Certainly not. Don't miss paying $149 or less. Rest easy. Jackson Hewitt's got your taxes. Guaranteed. Limited time offer for new clients on federal returns. Participating locations only. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com/149.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from IQ Bar. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at eatiqbar.com/policy/terms of service.
I've got good news and bad news. Here's the bad news. Most protein bars are packed with sugar and unpronounceable ingredients. The good news? There's a better option. I'm Will, and I created IQ Bar plant protein bars to empower doers like you with clean, delicious, low-sugar brain and body fuel. IQ bars are packed with 12 grams of protein, brain nutrients like magnesium and lion's mane, and zero weird stuff. And right now, you can get 20% off all IQ Bar products, plus free shipping. Try our delicious IQ Bar sampler pack with 7 plant protein bars, 4 hydration mixes, and 4 enhanced coffee sticks. Clean ingredients, amazing taste, and you'll love how you feel. Refuel smarter, hydrate harder, caffeinate larger with IQ Bar.
Now you can get 20% off all IQ Bar products plus free shipping when you text radio to 64,000. Text radio to 64,000 to get your 20% off. That's radio to 64,000.
This hour of Wyman and Bob is brought to you by K2 Vision RLE.
Wyman and Bob.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Our thanks once again to Paul Moyer, who joined us in the previous segment. If you guys missed any part of that conversation, you'll be able to find it on the podcast page after the show at seattlesports.com. Meanwhile, we've talked a lot about the NFLPA's annual report cards that would come out, and the NFL took legal action and said those can no longer be released publicly. They'll still do the surveys, do the reports, but they're to be held internally. Well, they were leaked out anyway to media outlets. So we knew a couple yesterday. We knew the Steelers got a horrible grade. We knew the Dolphins got a great grade. We saw some of it yesterday. Now it's all come out. And just taking a look at, the Seahawks. We didn't have any numbers on or any grades on the Seahawks yesterday, but we got those. They ranked 4th overall grade. Now, for people that aren't familiar with this is conducted by the NFLPA, comes out every year, and they grade a number of different categories for each organization.
I didn't remember the coaches it being part of it.
Being part of the voting or being graded?
Like this individually, listed.
I didn't, because this breaks it down: position coaches, special teams coordinator, all that stuff. I don't remember that
coordinator,
either.
Strength coach. I mean, I remember trainer and strength coach, and then just coaching staff. But they break down the D coordinator, the O coordinator.
Yeah, but the stuff I remember is this, like treatment of families.
Right.
Seahawks got a B+ in that. Home game field. So looking at the field at Lumen, the actual surface, F.
I got an F. Well, look, here's the thing, and I texted a few people that would know that, look, players like grass. They like grass, but you can't grow grass here. You just can't. From November on, it's like it's the north part of the stadium just doesn't get any sun. Mm-hmm. Any at all. So you can't do that. But I mean, look, I think that's why I can't think of anything else.
What do we know what Levi Stadium got?
Ooh, I can check.
They liked their stadium. I want to say
they liked the field.
I think it was A- or
remember
something.
that field when
B+.
they first opened that stadium was a disaster. So much that they had issues with it. They had issues with the practice field, and
they got A-.
A- on
no
the
word
field.
on the electrical substation. Probably was.
Yeah, exactly. I was wondering about that part too. But I mean, there were some surprising ones. I think also was it the Steelers, Mike, that got an F?
Steelers were dead last.
Yeah.
The Jets were last the year before.
Jets and Giants were both terrible, and of course they hate their field there. So I mean, I think it's just a grass thing.
Well, and Woody Johnson, the owner of the Jets, was one of the main voices in having this become a private thing, not to be released publicly, fresh off of his F grade. So he didn't want that to be public.
Of course he didn't want it. Yeah, it's stupid. It was a bad look by the NFL, I thought.
It's a terrible look. So just going down the categories for the Seahawks. So B+, treatment of families. Home game field, F. Food and dining area, A-. Nutritionist/dietitian, an A. Locker room, B+. Training room, A-. Training staff, an A. Weight room, A-. Strength coach is an A. Position coaches, A-. Offensive coordinator, an A. Defensive coordinator, A+. Of course. Special teams coordinator, A. Team travel, A-. Head coach, I would have thought he would have gotten an A+, but he just gets an A. GM, again, A+, but they gave him an A. Team ownership, an A. So really the only category was the turf they didn't like. And then the locker room, B+, which isn't obviously not bad, but those are your lowest grades.
Yeah, and I think
all categories.
They're trying to to upgrade, some of the stuff. I think they put some extra cold tubs in there, and they've done some construction there to just try to stay current. Because when did that thing open? I mean, is that like about the time Pete came? I want to say
in 2010.
Was it like 8, 9? Maybe?
Well, so if you remember, they scored really poorly in training room last year. The Seahawks were 26th. They got a C. And now they've really upgraded, like you were saying. So I think that's the point of why players wanted these out there, because it sparked some change from the good organizations, at least.
Yeah,
I was actually surprised the weight room was an A- because it looks small to me. It's not. It doesn't look very big.
Oh, really?
We're not really. I haven't walked around all in there, but we're always set up outside of the weight room, and it just. I don't know. I think I get kind of conditioned to watching the Hard Knocks episodes, and they always show their training facilities, and there's some nice ones, man. They look very state of the art, very spacious, very like the locker rooms or the not the practice facility, but the stadiums are just they look space age in some cases.
Weight room and strength coaches A- and A. So yeah, they have like 4 garage door, big huge glass garage doors that they open there. And I think the other thing is that you go through by position group, or they'll do big guys and little guys. But yeah, I mean, I think that they've tried to do that. And like you said, I mean, why would the NFL take that away, especially when you see that it's actually inspiring some change? And
some owners don't want to be forced to change.
Yeah,
perhaps.
I guess.
So they don't want to be ridiculed publicly, and maybe and look, I don't. Players talk. I mean, I don't think whether this is public or not. I think most players in the league would probably hear, the Jets terrible facility or whatever their F grades were. I don't know where they scored poorly, but if the facilities are bad, if the training staff is bad, that's going to get around the league. They don't need this report. This just crystallizes it, I think, for them. This is news to us. I don't think it's news to the players in the league. I think they have a very clear picture of, hey, man, the facility over there is state of the art, unbelievable, this, that, and the other, and the extremes at the other end.
Yeah. Yeah, there was some surprising ones in here. If you look at some of the teams around the league, like Houston took a pretty big jump, and that's been happening over the years. Washington, we know about that Ron Rivera, we know had a lot to do with that. But some of the
stunned on the Cardinals.
Cardinals, no,
they ranked 31st overall. I just love ownership rank F.
Yeah, they should have given it F-.
Yeah, well, the locker room got an F-.
Yeah,
which I mean, some of these, that's the most important one, right? Ownership.
Yeah, I mean, it all comes from
it's all going to trickle down from that. So but the Panthers, you look at them, their ownership got a B-, which is higher than I would have thought.
Yeah, that's a jump because of Tepper.
Yeah,
I mean, him being kind of overbearing. So
yeah, Bengals D+ ownership.
Yeah. So, but the overall rank for Carolina they were ranked 23rd. So yeah, there was a few surprises in there where, no surprise, the Bengals, their overall rank was 28th. Cleveland Browns 30th. Is 22 kind of low for the Cowboys? I mean, with Jerry World over there,
because they've got very nice facilities, and just judging from the TV, I certainly haven't been in there.
Yeah,
they give their field a C. They got turf.
Yeah, and I saw that their like their training room is a D, which that's a big one, man. The training room is huge. You should be state of the art. You should have everything. I mean, because that's the healthier players. That's what you're talking about. But the Broncos were 10, but like their locker room, they gave them a D there. So, but it's mostly A's. They also got a A for the home game field, which is grass there. That's it.
How about the Packers? Their team ownership A-. Those are the fans.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised. That's right. They're blaming themselves.
They don't have an owner.
Well, in their overall rank, I mean, they made it to the playoffs. It was 21st, so I thought that was kind of low for them. And yeah, like I said, the Texans were at number 7, and that was long seen as kind of a clown show down there. So I mean, there was the Jags took a pretty big jump. I think at some point, maybe it was because of ownership.
How about the Raiders? Number rank. 6 overall.
Yeah.
Team ownership A. GM A-. They're Treatment of families, A. Home game field, A-.
Yeah.
Food, A. Nutritionist, A. Locker room, A. Training room, A. Training staff,
Yeah.
A.
Well, and the other one that I thought was kind of surprising, Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, that's a fairly, popular franchise, and, they've been going to the playoffs, winning Super Bowls, all that, ranked 27th.
Yeah.
But like you said, yeah, the Raiders jump up to number 6.
Well, interesting. They gave, obviously this is about Pete, head coach, C+, team ownership, A, but the offensive coordinator, F. Obviously the offense was problematic for that team. Defensive coordinator, a C. So we'll see how much things change with Kubiak.
Yeah.
In charge there.
Right. Yeah. So, yeah, this was bound to come out, of course. So, and
I think it will always come out.
Well, and I like it.
Yeah.
I like knowing, and I would, if I'm an owner, I want to know. I want to know from my players. So, yeah, as long as it's done fairly, and it's. There was one with the Seahawks. I want to say that was it maybe A- for travel, and I was like, man, I would have given them an A+. They have a retrofitted 747 with all first class seats except in the back where they put a lot of the people like me and Rabel.
Maybe you guys were the ones complaining, brought it down to an A-. Maybe Rabel was out there throwing a fit.
Honestly, they treated us great. We got to sit upstairs like most of the flights. Yeah, there was only a couple of times, maybe 2 or 3 trips where we had to be in the coach seats. But yeah, I was surprised that wasn't an A+.
Meanwhile, it's an all-football edition of WHYMAN, and that is coming your way next with Wyman and Bob at Seattle Sports on 710.
The first week of Seattle sports at Mariner spring training.
Man, best week of our year. Brendan said it yesterday. We're not afraid to say World Series.
Brock and Salk definitely caught the vibe.
Julio Rodriguez, who sits down with us right now.
Being able to be so close to something so special really made this team hungry.
Cal Raleigh.
This isn't a fun, cute story anymore. This is who we want to be.
Beginning Monday, March 9th, Wyman and Bob are in Peoria.
I cannot wait to get down there.
Every exclusive interview from Mariner spring training is on the Seattle Sports YouTube page.
Xfinity Tech Support, Matthew speaking.
Hi, I live in a pretty remote place, like Jurassic Park remote. Oh!
Wow.
Will Xfinity Mobile work out here?
Yep, the combination of reliable Wi-Fi and 5G makes it so that you can stay connected in all kinds of places. Plus, you get access to ultra-fast speeds and coverage, whether you're poolside or out live streaming with a T-Rex.
Hold still, you're about to go viral.
Welcome to a new era of Wi-Fi boosted mobile. Cut your mobile bill in half with 2 lines of unlimited. Discover a new era of Wi-Fi boosted mobile at xfinitymobile.com. Xfinity. Imagine that. Watch Jurassic Park with Xfinity. Savings comparison based on promotional rate for 2 lines of Xfinity Mobile Unlimited versus 2 lines of T-Mobile Experience More, Verizon Unlimited Plus, and AT&T Starter as of February 10th, 2026.
Your new home is now ready. D.R. Horton, America's builder, has new homes that are ready today. With new construction communities throughout the Puget Sound and Central Washington areas, and more coming, D.R. Horton has the right home for you. At D.R. Horton, we're still building, with more construction, more communities, and more homes available every day. Find your new home, now ready at drhorton.com. That's drhorton.com. D.R. Horton, America's builder, an equal housing opportunity builder.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
It took us 93 years to build this reputation, but it'll take just 5 minutes to ruin it. If you think about that, you'll do things differently.
Lee Johnson Auto Family.
It's Olympic Hot Tub's floor model finale. Don't experience FOMO. Get in now and save thousands on remaining 2025 floor model hot tubs. But hurry, our floor model finale ends February 28th. OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
Get broadcast times for every Three Tree Roofing Mariners Cactus League broadcast.
Holy smokes, he does it again!
At SeattleSports.com.
Luxury has arrived. It's Mike Salkier, and the all-new Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel is now open, featuring a destination spa, the expanded non-smoking space, and breathtaking views of the Cascades. You can catch every game at Hawks Peak, over 66 televisions, plus that 2,000-seat entertainment venue and exciting new dining options. Effortless style, the utmost in relaxation. You can book now at snocasino.com. Seattle's closest is now Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel.
No matter how old you get, you always remember that one great teacher. Hi, this is Rick Riz, inviting you to join WSECU in celebrating Teacher of the Week. Great teachers inspire. Nominate a teacher you feel has changed a life in our community. This year, we're going to honor 24 great teachers with grants of $500, courtesy of WSECU, the credit union for Washington. Teachers are the real MVPs. Nominate an exceptional teacher now at mynorthwest.com/teacher.
Dino was suffering from a rotator cuff tear in his right shoulder.
Part of the pain is like taking off my shirt. I couldn't even really button my pants. I could actually qualify for a shoulder replacement if I wanted to go that route.
He chose to see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine for stem cell therapy.
I heard the commercials for Dr. Wagner. I did my research. I thought about surgery. But the recovery time was so long, I didn't want to have to be in the sling. I want to be able to retire in a few months, get back to bike riding and playing golf without any pain in my shoulder.
Dino knew from experience that stem cell therapy works. Dr. Wagner had already helped him recover from osteoarthritis in his thumb, but he's not done yet.
And now 2 years later, I'm having an issue with my left shoulder, so I've got it scheduled, and I'm going to go back to see Dr. Wagner again because it was so successful.
Before you choose surgery, consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. Schedule your consultation at drmarkwagnermd.com.
Why, man? Why?
Lunch has been canceled today due to lack of hustle. Deal with it.
He's a habitual line stepper.
What were you thinking? What are you doing?
Why are you the way that you are?
It's the Why Man of the Week.
WHYMAN is presented by Mazda of Everett, an all-football edition of this. We begin with entry number one, coming courtesy of John Lynch at the Combine, when he was asked if the electrical substation is affecting the team when it comes to potential free agents and, you know, wanting to come out there and play for the 49ers.
I sure hope not. I don't think so. We have a tremendous place to live, to play, an iconic organization. You know, some of the things at Super Bowl, the very first event that I kind of went to was a Night of Champions, some Omaha Productions put on it. And man, I can't tell you, I kind of went just to support the guys that were up on stage. And it was Chris Berman moderated a thing with Joe, John Taylor, Tommy Rathman. It was Eric Wright and Ronnie Lott, Keena Turner and Harris Barton were all there as well. And man, the privilege that you felt to be a part of this organization, that's what I think people feel when they think about the Niners. And a team they got a chance to compete at the highest level and compete for championships. That's what I think people will think about.
Yeah, I think yesterday I was kind of saying, well, why is he even taking it seriously, or is he even, you know, fielding questions about it, or, you know, why didn't he just shut it down? But I think in the end, he did it right. You know, it's like
he gave it very little attention in that comment.
Yeah, and the other thing is, you know, he said, yeah, I sure hope not. You know, and that kind of, I don't know, kind of made it to me sound like it's a thing. But, you know, the way that he handled that and went on past it. I think it was a better way to go. So yeah, and he was talking about Keena Turner and Harris Barton and all. I knew all those guys. Ronnie Lott, they're the nicest group of people ever. We talk about this Seahawk team being a team full of just good dudes like Joe Montana, Steve Young. Those guys were all such nice people, really. So like he said, there's a lot there that outside of the substation.
Yeah, I don't know. Were there any serious injuries at the Super Bowl that we're aware of? I don't know. Maybe you need longer exposure to it, perhaps.
That could
I'm not
be
sure.
Yeah, was there an injury in there in the Super Bowl this year? I'm trying to remember.
Not that I recall. I mean,
nothing other than somebody maybe limping off a couple of times, but
yeah, nothing that seemed out of the ordinary that I recall. So there you go. Entry number 2 comes courtesy of Jed Fish, who, according to this, vastly undersells the amount of drama that Washington had this offseason with their quarterback, Damon Williams.
Like most of these top quarterbacks switch schools. Ours didn't. And you look at where all these quarterbacks have gone and where they went, what's happening. And, we had 2 days where we had to work through some things and figure out what was best. And a lot of people were, trying to convince him to leave. And a lot of people, as we know, when you get recruited, it's hard not to at least pause for a minute. And that's what he did. And after about 48 hours, the pause was over and he's back. And he's having a fantastic first 4 weeks of the offseason.
Yeah, that's his job, is to undersell it. He's not going to come out and go, man, what a debacle that was. Guy agreed to a, $4 million plus deal here, and he gets lured away with promises of $5 million plus elsewhere, and was going to just, throw this agreement in the trash and move on. I mean, he's not going to say anything like that, even though that's what happened. So it's his job to minimize it. It's his job to, try to make it as close as he can to business as usual, because I've got to believe that Damon Williams has got to earn back the respect of some of his teammates.
Yeah. When we talked to Schneider, he said something about, like, he was kind of like, yeah, I want the guys to get paid and everything, but, he sort of hinted at that there were some things that, he's not happy about. And, yeah, these kinds of things, I mean, I guess are what the whole Damon Williams thing, was just, it was kind of chaotic and kind of messed up. So I don't know. Maybe we'll see. It's so far, I thought really that there was going to be, with the whole NIL thing, that there was going to be, it was going to have a bad effect on the players and going forward. And actually, we've heard from John that he's actually said that that the guys are more mature and they know where they're going.
Well, and they get a chance to see how they handle having money. And are they out there with, fancy cars and ropes around the neck, chains, diamonds here in the teeth and the whole thing. They could go nuts on all the bling and all that stuff. Or they're, are they responsible with the money? What are they doing with it? They have a money manager working for them, or he talked about families and, some guys saying I had to cut off family members and things like that. So showing different levels of maturity when it comes to that. But this was a situation that wasn't positive. Obviously, he was getting advice from, I don't know who, but it was not good advice, because it makes him look terrible, makes him look awful after agreeing to a huge deal to stay here and then saying, well, I can get a little more if I go over to LSU. I'm leaving. And then ticking off the fan base, presumably his teammates and everybody else, and then having to kind of walk it back. I think there's going to be some work to be done there for him. Meanwhile, last one comes from Browns GM Andrew Berry, talking about all the quarterbacks they have drafted recently. Says he's fine continuing to draft one every year.
I don't see a problem with that. It's the most important position. We wouldn't talk about it any differently if we were drafting an O lineman or a D lineman or something along those lines. I don't think that you can invest in it enough.
Well, that just says you don't have your answer at
keep
quarterback.
Trying.
Yeah, we're going to keep taking swings until we land on that guy that we go, that's the dude. That's the dude. Maybe we'll draft his backup in the 7th round next year or something. We need depth in case he gets hurt, but he's our guy. They don't have that.
I'll tell you what, during the Schneider era, and, most of that was Pete and everything, but quarterback position's been pretty solid.
Once they got Russ, yeah, because they had, kind of went through the Matt Flynn, Tavares Jackson, Charlie Whitehurst.
T-Jack. Remember, T-Jack was a great quarterback. He just couldn't score touchdowns. He got inside the red zone. Just couldn't do it.
Yeah, he was that guy that was solid but wasn't going to lead you to the Super Bowl. Teammates loved him, his toughness. But yeah, there was some trial and error there for a bit until they landed on Russ, and since that point, it's been pretty solid.
Good. Yeah, Geno, taking over for Russ. They go to the playoffs, lose, and then maybe a not great year in 2024. But yeah, they've found their way. Have done a good job with the quarterbacks.
Which, as we watch all these other franchises that historically can't find that guy, the Browns being first and foremost amongst those teams.
Yeah. And it was a stretch of time where it was like 20 different quarterbacks since 2000.
It's crazy the number of starting quarterbacks they've had.
Yeah.
And they've had a lot of top 10 picks.
Yep.
So, meanwhile, what's the biggest change for the Mariners core group this spring training? We'll get into that conversation and a few others in Best of the Rest. That's coming your way next with Wyman and Bob at Seattle Sports on 710.
The first week of Seattle sports at Mariners spring training?
Man, best week of our year. Brendan said it yesterday. We're not afraid to say World Series.
Brock and Salk definitely caught the vibe.
Julio Rodriguez, who sits down with us right now.
Being able to be so close to something so special really made this team hungry.
Cal Raleigh.
This isn't a fun, cute story anymore. This is who we want to be.
Beginning Monday, March 9th, Wyman and Bob are in Peoria.
I cannot wait to get down there.
Every exclusive interview from Mariners spring training is on the Seattle Sports YouTube page.
Hey, it's February, and we're a month into those fitness goals and resolutions. And are you already tired of the crowded gyms and sweaty machines? Maybe you're ready to upgrade your fitness equipment in your own home. Well, I got the place and some deals for you. Hey, Brock Ewart here with my friends at Top Fitness. Right now, trade in your old treadmill and get a $500 credit to use for Precor, True, or Inspire treadmills. Top Fitness sells the best quality products available. Brands like Precor, True, Octane, Inspire Stairmaster, and much more. It's trade-in days at Top Fitness, and it's not too late to get in the best shape of your life. Top Fitness has the largest selection of home fitness equipment in the state of Washington, and their staff will truly show you why. It's no secret that everybody, from personal trainers to pro athletes, love their stores. Top Fitness has locations at Tukwila, Linwood, and Bellevue, or visit topfitness.com for more info. And remember, trade in your old treadmill and get a $500 credit today. Top Fitness, your best place for home fitness equipment.
That same Louisiana flavor y'all love about our chicken?
It's flawless.
Yeah, we did that to crispy Alaskan flounder and butterfly shrimp, too. We just couldn't help ourselves. And we didn't stop there. You can add lemon pepper or garlic Parmesan rub to that shrimp. Now, we only do seafood every so often, so you know what to expect.
Popeye's can't miss.
That's right. The seafood menu is back.
This is real fish.
At participating restaurants.
We've all been there, sleepless nights, wondering if your business's security service is really protecting what matters. At Bay Alarm, we can put your security insecurities to bed. Our advanced technology and personalized support ensure you can rest easy knowing we're here for you. BayAlarm.com.
Why does it matter to members that Aetna was named a Best Medicare Advantage company by U.S. News & World Report? Because they chose a plan that gives them real support, real people, and real care. We show up with care management that ensures doctors work together on complicated conditions. We show up with the latest in online tools to make healthcare easier to use anytime. We don't show up for awards. We show up for you. And showing up for you is how healthier happens together.
Forget Cloud 9. We're headed to Cloud 10 with prizes up to $10,000 in cash. Hearts will be racing every Saturday night in February as two lovely winners are drawn every hour from 6:30 till 10:30. Will you be one of Cupid's cash board winners? Visit daily to claim your free entry and find out. Don't forget, your Reef Rewards card can save you up to 25 cents per gallon at Lummi Bay Market next to Silver Reef. Silver Reef Casino Resort, located off I-5 exit 260.
It's home show season. To celebrate, Lake Washington Windows and Doors is giving you 20% off and a lifetime installation warranty, plus 12 months to pay with 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest financing. See us at the home shows or visit lakewashingtonwindows.com.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready.
and get ready for the workday.
Jackson Hewitt handles your taxes and your stress. Inhale our no surprise price of $149 or less. Exhale, paying more for complicated taxes. You won't. Inhale new tax law knowledge. Exhale, missing out on your biggest refund? Certainly not. Don't miss paying $149 or less. Rest easy. Jackson Hewitt's got your taxes. Guaranteed. Limited time offer for new clients on federal returns. Participating locations only. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com/149.
You're still grooving, still connecting, still loving, still turning up, still thriving. You still got it, but your immune system, it weakens as you age. That's where vaccines come in. They help train and strengthen your immune response to fight off respiratory illnesses like flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, or COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Book in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side, your Sleep Number setting. Enjoy personalized comfort for better sleep night after night. And now, during our President's Day sale, take 50% off our limited edition bed, plus an extra $100 off all mattresses. And Saturday, only at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Well, the NFL salary cap has topped $300 million for the very first time, landing at $301.2 million for 2026 for a $22 million increase over last year. The cap has increased 40% in just 5 years since it dropped, coming off the pandemic-altered 2020 season when few or no fans were allowed to attend games and numbers were sent to clubs this Friday. The growth was expected since the COVID-19 season, and the biggest year-to-year increase of $31 million came from the 2023 season to the 2024 season.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
This hour is serviced by the Lee Johnson Auto family.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Wyman and Bob.
On Seattle Sports.
Streaming live on the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton.
We got mean texts coming up at 4:45 today, so get those going. 866-979-3776. How they been doing so far, Lefko?
I don't know. I don't think they're awake. I have no confidence. I haven't been here all week, so maybe they found some spark of brilliance earlier in the week.
Mike, when you
I've been told that
that's not it.
Yeah.
That's not the answer.
I don't think we're going to get any good ones.
When you were in Hawaii,
dominant sleep.
Were you thinking about our texters at all when you were in Hawaii?
No, I was asleep like them probably. It's 2 hours earlier there. So since they're all lazy and sleep till, 5:30 most days, it was too early for me.
All right. Well, let's see if they prove you wrong. 866-979-3776. Mean text coming up at 4:45 today at 5 o'clock. We'll turn you over to the Mariners preseason, a little spring training baseball going on for you today. So you'll get a chance to kick back and enjoy that. Meanwhile, let's get to Best of the Rest.
We know you love listening to us, but there are great discussions happening all over our station.
I need more Jake Bobo. I need more of them.
Because Jake Bobo is objectively fun to say.
Yep, just not good at bats.
Let's tone it down.
It's time for the Best of the Rest.
How dare you?
We'll start with Brock and Salk, and they were talking about Edward Bizardo, and then they started to wonder about any of the other unknowns in the bullpen this year, because obviously Bizardo was a bit of an unknown, and by the end of the season, he was one of your leverage guys who had a fantastic season. I know what happened in the postseason. I don't put that on him, as I've said, as much as I put it on Dan, but he was an absolute stud for this team this year. So who might Who might some of those other guys be that could assume a role like that?
Look, he exceeded everybody's expectations last year. He was amazing. Went from being the guy we were calling the white flag at the end of games to being a crucial difference maker, leverage guy all year long.
In big moment in the playoffs, and they're chased to win 17 of 18 to win the division.
You do it 1 year, you got to do it for more than one in a row before you start to earn that automatic, like, oh yeah, no, this guy's a dude. There's also, he pitched a lot last year. And I want to make sure that, there's no after effect of that this year.
Because we know what happened to Brash after he pitched a lot.
After he was the innings leader.
I
don't know. So I've just been thinking a little bit about the bullpen. I like the bullpen a lot. I think Munoz is, we barely mentioned his name. He's
right
one
there
of
with
the
Logan.
nicer
He's
dudes
one of the
you'll
sweetest guys
ever meet here. Brash is a great dude and also a great pitcher. Excited about Ferrer. And, love what you got from Spire in the bounce back last year. Is there even really a spot open for competition in this bullpen? Is there a surprise guy that is maybe going to make this pen? And at the end, we're going to be like, I never even considered that.
Well, I know that there's going to be a surprise this year.
There always is.
There is. Just like Bizzardo was, just like for some reason this organization cultivates that spot as much as anybody, from Steckenrider to Seawald to go through the list. Like, somebody is going to pleasantly surprise.
Yeah. I mean, the bullpen looks stacked.
Yeah.
It gives you a lot of options. It's just one of the reasons everyone keeps looking at the team and saying, this looks great.
Yeah, this is really cool to have the pitching staff that the Mariners have, because I feel like with the bullpen, a lot of teams go up and down and wild fluctuation, and for the Mariners, it just seems pretty steady. They get guys in there, keep it simple. What's your best stuff? Throw it. Last year, you had Andres Munoz, Matt Brash. Spire, Bizzardo, and now they got Ferrer that they've added. I think it's, we haven't really talked about it that much. I'm kind of waiting, I guess, to get down to Peoria and see, get a chance to watch guys in the bullpens, and it's always impressive watching that.
Yeah, there's just looking at some of the numbers for spring training, and there's a million names in here.
Yeah.
Reese Lumpkin. He could be the guy.
Lumpkin.
Reed Easterly. Marcelo Perez. Tyler. These are just guys that you're not used to hearing their names.
I like Lumpkin.
You like Lumpkin? Reese Lumpkin.
That's going to be my guy.
Yeah. You got Abdiel Mendoza. It's just, there's a lot of names, a lot of guys throwing here. Ryan Hawks. You're hearing, and guys getting opportunities to show what they can do, and some are, non-roster invitees to get out there and see if they can make the club or get a minor league deal or something along those lines. But there's a lot of names on this list that I've.
Troy Taylor.
Yeah. Well, we know him.
Yeah.
We
forgot about him.
I'm just looking at all these other ones that you're like, wait, who's this guy? Who's that guy? So yeah, there's some familiar names, certainly. Jonathan Diaz, Casey Legumina, Casey Lawrence, you know those guys. But yeah, there's a lot of other names in here. So I don't worry about the bullpen. We've talked about this before, that they've just had that knack over and over and over. Well, they'll get a guy that we've never heard of, and again, maybe it will be Reese Lumpkin, and he'll turn into the new Paul Sewald. He'll turn into the new, Justin Topa. He'll be that guy that just that just comes in. Doesn't mean they're all stars. Doesn't mean they're that they're amongst the elite in baseball, but they just find a role that they're really effective in. Yeah. And they do it year in, year out. And Bizzardo was one of those guys. You heard those guys talking about, they called him the white flag. Like, that's basically, you're all right, we're giving up. Bizzardo's in, game's over. We're giving up. And then by the end of the year, he was one of the most reliable arms coming at you. Felt good when he came out of the pen. You're like, okay, good, Bizzardo's here. He's going to lock it down, and he's going to eat innings, and he's going to pitch tomorrow, and he might pitch the next day. Loved that guy. Loved what he brought to the team. So, and they've just, that's the one thing, as much as we've talked about the struggles, identifying offense, producing offense over the years, the bullpen has been, for the most part, rock solid. They've just found guys. It's just what they do.
Yeah, Austin Nola is the bullpen coach. Just added, what did they hire him? Maybe back in December, was it?
I can't remember.
I think it was early December in 2025, and and then you've got just that pitching coaching staff is just phenomenal with Pete Woodworth, Danny Farquhar. Yeah, it's just they just always get it done. And maybe it's not fair to just go, yeah, I think, you look at some of the arms we have, and we have obviously some proven arms, but to just go, yeah, the bullpen will be fine.
Yeah, well, it's just kind
of how it's been.
Yeah, that's one I don't think people get worked up about. Well, how come they didn't go get this guy? You should have gotten this guy. I think they've kind of gained that trust, even with the skeptics or the critics out there of the Mariners. You're like, I feel like everybody's pretty accepting if they say, hey, we just brought Dave Schmagegi in here to be a back end guy. You're like, okay, there's just an implicit trust in what they do with that bullpen.
I'd like it if we went with Dave Schmagegi this year instead of Joe Schmagegi.
Yeah, it's his brother. It's his younger brother. This one comes from Bump and Stacy, and they were talking about the Seahawks and something we've been touching on, the fact that they have, just as we sit right now, 4 draft picks. They have just 4. How do they keep that youth movement going with that limited ability in the draft as it sits right now?
The Seahawks have absolutely knocked it out of the park over the last couple of years in the draft. You've got Gray Zabel, Nick Imanwari, Byron Murphy, Devin Witherspoon, JSN, the latter 2 in the same draft, obviously. Derek Hall and Moyer have been big contributors, taken in 23 and 22. Of course, you got Charles Cross, Ken Walker, both your tackles, Abe Lucas and Charles Cross, actually. There are guys set to hit free agency that you may lose out that I would even count as, Reek Woolen was a great draft pick. He was a 5th rounder. He was
Despite what people think.
Despite what people think, a 5th rounder, he gave you more than the average 5th round pick is going to give you. But how do you keep it going when you're not looking at an especially strong draft class and when you don't have a lot of picks? If you're sitting at pick 32, do you trade that pick?
At 32, you got to wait and see what happens in front of you, honestly. At 32, you're seeing who moved up, who moved back. You're looking at your board. You're trying to figure out, all right, is our guy still going to be there? At 32, last year, you were looking at Nick Imanwari and saying, all right, well, we might have a guy who's still there. So, no, at 32, you're waiting, man. The top, 5 picks, 10 picks are the most aggressive picks. After that, it's a domino effect. So, I think there's a possibility you trade out. There's a possibility you try to move up. It's all about who's available and your want. Like, how bad do I want this player at that pick?
For John Schneider, there's always a sucker that wants the first round pick. And if you ask John, he'll say there's maybe 10 to 15, depending on the year, 10 to 15, maybe closer to 20 in any given year, first-round draft choices. And I think he's very disciplined about not just saying, oh, okay, there's 32. Okay, 32 picks. No, if he doesn't think that anybody's a first-rounder. But it'll be interesting being that far back. It's kind of fun, though, right?
Well, it's been a while. It felt like we got so accustomed to them picking 25, 27, 29, just way down. The conversation almost always wasn't so much who are they going to take. It's, well, they're going to trade back, obviously. So what are they going to get?
Yeah.
So do you – again, I would have bet a bunch of money that year in 21 that he was going to trade and accumulate more picks. He did not. They went with just 3 picks that year. So now this is a similar year, obviously. You've got just 4 picks, and I still feel the same way. I feel like there's no way – the Seahawks go with just 4 picks, that he's going to trade, whether it's the first pick, first-round pick, it's the second, whatever it is, he's going to accumulate more than 4 picks. Where are you at with that?
I don't know. Maybe. I think we talked about the draft where they had 3. I swear they traded back in to get who's the tackle that we
Stone
drafted? Forsythe that year. By the way, he was a starter in Vegas.
It didn't go well.
It wasn't good.
No.
I think Gino got sacked like 65 times. So
I don't know if those were all on Stone, but I don't think he's.
I'd say maybe a third.
Yeah, he was. It's not good.
Yeah. So I think that was a different year, but I don't know that he's going to go nuts. Like, was it 2019 where they went in with like 3 or 4 and they ended up with like 9 or something?
Yeah, I don't expect that. I'm just more along the lines as either do they go with 4 or does he accumulate more? Whether it's 5, whether it's 6, 7, I don't know how many, but the idea of him just sitting with 4 and going, no, we're good where we're at. We're gonna pick where we're slotted and call it a day. I don't see that happening.
Right. Yeah. Well, and we had thanks to Russell Wilson, we had a couple years there with some great picks, and that worked. I don't know. John has a weird sense of, he's just done a great job. I know he hasn't, hit on every single one, but I think at the time when he traded Russell Wilson away, that he thought Russ was declining skills sort of range of where his career was.
Mm-hmm. Turns out he was right.
Turned out he was right, and that was something that he did think at that time. But he just has a good sense for that, and it's kind of interesting because I played football for a pretty long time, and when I look at guys, and I have these conversations with John, and I'm like, what are you talking about? And he just the way he looks at things and the way that he.
What do you mean when you say what are you talking about? Like the lingo he's using, or his evaluation of a player?
That and the player out of nowhere. That is like, this guy can play for us because of this, that, and the other. It's pretty amazing. So I am curious though, just because obviously it's fun that we have the number 32 pick, right? Because we won the Super Bowl. But I wonder if that's going to be, maybe he finds a guy there that's just like, I can't believe that this guy didn't go in the first, 10 or whatever. So that
was Wyman Bob last year.
Yeah.
They traded up to get him.
They did. And they used, I think it was the 2 draft choices or picks that they got from the Steelers and the Raiders.
Yeah.
One of them we got 2, right? I want to say.
I think it was.
Was it Pittsburgh? Yeah,
I
think it might have been.
I don't say that with a lot of passion.
No, neither. I can't remember exactly what it was, but I thought that was kind of cool that you kind of got what you got for those 2 players you put into Nick Eamon-Warry. And you talk about, we're going to be just talking that guy up in the offseason because what a rookie year he had. And
love that guy.
The other thing is how unbelievable it is that how much he affected the defense. You come in as a rookie, and I always say rookies, and Rabel says it all the time. You can always tell a rookie, you just can't tell him much. I mean,
he loves that line.
Yeah, he does. It's a staple of his, kind of like his 4.37 40.
That's right.
But yeah, I mean, it really is. It's phenomenal when you can get a rookie to do that and have that much of an impact. And so, yeah, it's one of those things that, like, I don't know. You also kind of wonder why didn't they take him in the first round? But you got Gray Zabel, who just worked out famously. So yeah, it's always exciting going into the draft and seeing what John sees.
I've got to believe they were surprised by how much Nick Eamon-Warry impacted the defense. I mean, obviously they had a belief in who he could be, and they certainly knew more about him than probably anybody, but
they hoped.
I don't know. We talked about it after the draft. That was my favorite pick of the entire draft, but I had no idea. There's no way I was predicting I thought he would grow into this role, and he would have if he could stay healthy, potentially be a very good player. Just love that pick. There's no way I would have bet that he would have had this kind of impact. Not a chance.
Yeah.
I don't know who did.
Well, and especially with playing in defense like Mike McDonald has, that you really have to know your stuff.
Yeah.
And also for Mike to kind of change around, he's like, okay, we got this guy, so we can leave him in different personnel packages. We talk about when we're in base, that looks like nickel to them, and when we're in nickel, it looks like dime, because you have the versatility of that guy playing at all 3 levels. So,
especially with him getting hurt so early, it felt like, all right, maybe it's going to be a rookie year it's going to be inconsistent. Yeah. He's not there. He's missing some time. He got hurt right away.
Like Torrey Horton.
Kind of, yeah. It kind of felt like that initially. Like, well, he made a great tackle, and now he's out. So, all right, well.
Yeah, and that was his first play, too.
Yeah.
First play, makes a tackle for a loss, hurts his ankle, and then misses a few games.
Then you fast forward to the Super Bowl. We see him limping out of a SUV, going, "Oh my God, what are they going to do without him?
Right.
What are they going to do without him?" All right, moving on. Brock and Salk, we're talking about what they've seen down there in spring training, and just talking about the growth and maturation process they've seen from guys like Logan and Julio and Cal over the last few years.
But what does strike me in all of these years here with this group is it's been now, right, 5-6 years with Cal and with Logan and with Julio, where they've been gracious gracious enough to sit down with us, and you do see them mature. You watch that growth and development. And then all of a sudden, it's like, hey, man, this life as a pro athlete, especially a successful one, and all that comes with that as a superstar and all of it, and you watch them navigate it and manage it. And, yeah, man, it strikes me how advantageous it is. I've always known this, and I firmly believe that time on task together and connection matters. But, man, do you feel that from these guys? And I thought that was my favorite answer with Julio, as he went into depth about this connection, because it matters in football. When you're making a combo block and you're scooping the linebacker and you're hip to hip with somebody and you got to move that person together, like, you are connected.
The key word there is trust.
There you go.
Right? I mean, like, I know you like connection, and it's a good word, and I think it's very valuable. But I think really what it comes down to is it's a way to get to trust.
Yes.
Because you can spend 5 or 6 years together going through the wars.
And never connect.
But if you don't like each other.
That's right.
And you don't trust each other.
Yeah.
Then you start. And
I mean, your first 2.5 years with me, Saul, you didn't like me at all.
But no, it can get worse.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, like, then it's a pressure cooker, and it can like, here goes this guy again. Yeah. He's not going to hustle after that. Yep, this guy screwed me on a line drive again. Yep. Could have had it. Now my ERA's going up.
Yep.
First 2.5 years with Brock. 2.5. I wonder if Salk knew it was like a full 2.5 years.
I think they've talked about that before, that it was a bumpy start. But I like that Brock's got it dialed in. 2.5 years.
Yeah.
At that 2.5 year mark, we really started clicking. Then we connected. Then we had trust.
Well, look, they're exactly right. I mean, it's probably, maybe a little bit more important in, I don't know. I always think, like, football, what Brock described there is like he talking about a scoop block or whatever you want to call it, duo block, where it's like, I'm going to start and help you, but then at one point I'm going to let you take him man to man, and I'm going to go up to the next level. When do I do that? When do we, when are we executing that part of it? And it does have to do with trust. But I don't know, man, the way that Brendan Donovan talked about it, and he was talking about hitting and passing the baton.
Yeah.
I thought that was really a great, like a phrase that kind of brought home what it's about. And, it's about, maybe not trying to make the big hit, or as you mentioned, talk about, grinding down the, grinding down the pitcher with a 10 pitch at bat or whatever. And, that's that kind of trust, I think, it seems like that's what this team is building.
Yeah, it really does. It's so similar.
I can't wait to get down there, man.
Yeah, it's going to be cool to see up close and personal, because, look, that was a great clubhouse last year.
Right.
Really good clubhouse last year. It feels like, just, again, we haven't been there, but just in hearing Gary and Shannon and Brock and Salk and the people that have been down there, feels like it's even better now. Mm-hmm. And there's just more stability, and there's more that veteran leadership of Donovan coming in, who's another version of Naylor, who you're going to get for the entire season. This team is really, I think, poised to get off to a nice start. It's solid, and they are decidedly better, in my opinion, than the team that entered spring training last year. Mm-hmm. Decidedly better. All right, last one comes from Bumpin' Curtis, talking about whether the Seahawks should draft someone on defense with that first-round pick.
Curtis, every mock draft that I've seen so far, right, like 3 or 4 that I've seen, have the Hawks picking a defensive player. This defense was one of the best in the game last year, but there might be some movement on that side of the football. Do you think this should be the approach for the Seahawks, focusing on defense?
I think yes, unless there is another offensive lineman you can add to the starting lineup. I think defense is going to be your biggest areas of need, but then you also run the risk of drafting for need over best player available, which I think the Seahawks did a really good job of doing last year, where they drafted best player available, I think, with most of their picks. And maybe that was because of where they were as an organization, where you're just kind of looking to add talent at that point. Little did we know that they were on the verge of winning a Super Bowl, but it was just kind of like in talent collection mode before they really got, the finishing pieces of like DeMarcus Lawrence and Cooper Kupp and whatnot. I think on the defensive side, that is where you're going to probably have your most subtractions this year. In terms of guys who contributed a lot of snaps for you, guys who made a lot of starts for you. I'm thinking like Kobe Bryant, Reek Woolen. Who knows what the defensive line is going to look like, especially with some of the older guys in those positions. But yes, I think defense is probably where the Seahawks go, just because you're going to be losing, I think, a lot from that side of the ball.
I think they go where he talked about earlier, where John sees the best talent, whether it's offense. I think John's really disciplined about not drafting for need now.
He absolutely is.
So if it's a guard or if it's a linebacker, if where they're at on the board is going to dictate who gets picked there.
Well, and I think a lot of people, that's like coach speak or GM speak or whatever. He truly does do that. And I think that's kind of where they got sideways a little bit with him and Pete, because I think, and Pete was probably right. Like, he's like, hey, Johnny, we need a D lineman. We need, we need this position. We need that position. So, and I think, well, and especially now, like, it's kind of a luxury for John to really do that, right? Because, you could use another guard, no question. Is it desperate? No, because, and really no position's desperate because you just won a Super Bowl. Yeah. But, so, I mean, I feel like he really, I mean, you can pretty much count on him just taking the best player available, especially with just 4 picks.
Yeah, and even, look, running back could be desperate potentially, right? If K9 goes elsewhere, right? Then you're sitting there going, okay, we've got Charbonnet and McIntosh both coming off serious knee injuries. No idea the timetable, especially on Charbonnet because it happened so much later.
Yeah.
No idea when he's going to be ready and how does he rebound? How does he respond? Does it take a while? You got George Halani, and that's it. So you could look at that and go, well, hey, you got all these running backs. I just don't, even in that scenario, I don't see him going, yeah, I'm spending my first-round pick on a running back because that's what we need when we've got this cornerback rated way higher and we've got this safety or this wide receiver, whoever it is. I just think he's shown a lot of discipline. So I don't think offense, defense enters his mind.
Well, I'll tell you what, if he does draft a running back, that means that he truly loves it. Loves him. So, it's not going to be because of some desperate need.
Meanwhile, Sam Darnold is changing the way teams are evaluating whether or not to draft a quarterback. We're going to hear about that when we sweep the dial. Coming up with Wyman and Bob at Seattle Sports on 710.
The first week of Seattle sports at Mariners spring training.
Man, best week of our year.
Brendan said it yesterday. We're not afraid to say World Series.
Brock and Salk definitely caught the vibe.
Julio Rodriguez, who sits down with us right now.
Being able to be so close to something so special really made this team hungry.
Cal Raleigh.
This isn't a fun, cute story anymore. This is who we want to be.
Beginning Monday, March 9th, Wyman and Bob are in Peoria.
I cannot wait to get down there.
Every exclusive interview from Mariners spring training is on the Seattle Sports YouTube page.
High five. Up top.
Dave's company just got the 5-year price lock guarantee from Comcast Business. Yeah! It's 5 years of gig speed internet, advanced security, and a great rate that won't change. All from the company with 99.9% network reliability.
Heck yeah!
He hasn't given this many high fives since Deborah brought in her famous banana bread.
Yes!
The Comcast Business 5-year price lock guarantee. Powering 5 years of savings, powering possibilities.
And it's hurting, but I am not stopping. Woo!
For a limited time, now through March 29th, switch to Comcast Business to lock in your rate for 5 years and get a $500 prepaid card on a qualifying gig bundle. Or ask how to get started with 150 megabit internet and Security Edge for $59.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Don't wait. Call today. Restrictions apply. New customers only. 1-year contract required for guaranteed rate. Paperless billing and automatic payments with bank account required. 5-year pricing applies to monthly service charge excluding taxes and fees.
If you think you know cruising, think again. Uncruise Adventures is the opposite of the big ship experience. Our small, award-winning vessels carry just 22 to 86 guests. Enjoy all-inclusive farm-to-table dining, guided excursions, and all the gear you need. No dress code and no crowds. Come as you are and explore Alaska, Hawaii, Mexico, Costa Rica, or the Galapagos. Visit us at uncruise.com. And Seattle baseball fans, mention this ad for exclusive savings.
Switch to TurboTax and file your own taxes for free in the app, because free shouldn't cost $15.99. Right? Free Tax USA? Or is it cost $15.99 Tax USA? Switch to TurboTax and file free. Free state, free federal, 100% free, 100% guaranteed. Now this is taxes. Intuit TurboTax. Switch to TurboTax and file your own taxes in the app for free by 2/28. Excludes TurboTax expert products. $15.99 charge from Free Tax USA is for state taxes.
Need life insurance but have diabetes, high blood pressure, or on anxiety meds? If you're a 50-year-old male, even porky, or with type 2 diabetes, $1 million of life insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. For affordable term life insurance, call Term Provider and speak with Big Lou at 800-777-1225. 800-777-1225 or visit biglou.com. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. 800-777-1225.
Want consistent color for every job? Milo's Pro Rewards members get a 20% paint discount on future purchases after paint annual qualifying spend reaches $3,000. Plus, order eligible in-stock paint and paint supplies by 2 p.m. for free same-day delivery by 8 p.m. Improving is easy at Lowe's. Excludes spray paint and mistings. More exclusions, terms, and conditions apply. Subject to change. Details at Lowe's.com/terms. Same-day delivery valid in select zip codes. Subject to driver availability. Details at Lowe's.com/same-day delivery.
I'm Boomer Esiason. My mom died from cancer. She was only 37 years old. She didn't have life insurance, and that was devastating for my family. That's why having life insurance is so important to me. Ethos makes it fast and easy. Get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. You can get up to $3 million in coverage with no medical exam.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Don't miss the all-sound plumbing Mariners Cactus League report. Tuesday nights at 6. Going inside Mariners camp on the home of the American League West champion Mariners, Seattle Sports.
This month, Pure Talk is honoring Jackson and Lincoln by offering unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data for just $25 a month. Meanwhile, Big Wireless is honoring Benjamin Franklin by charging families hundreds of dollars for the same 5G service. What's up with that? Ben Franklin wasn't even a president. When you switch to Pure Talk, you'll be in business with an American wireless company that supports our vets in a big way and keeps all their customer service in this country. That's important. And you'll be on the same towers the big carriers use, so you'll get the same 5G service without the inflated price. So hang on to your Benjamins and switch to Pure Talk for a Jackson and a Lincoln. No contract, no hidden fees. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and you'll get 50% off your first month when you switch. That's pound 250, Mike Rowe, for an American wireless company that is truly unprecedented. Pure Talk.
Joe Fallon did something smart. He saved hundreds on auto insurance switching to Progressive. With that money, he commissioned a portrait of himself. Does Joe already know what he looks like? Yes. Do guests know what he looks like? Also yes. But not as art. It's Joe's savings, and if he wants to spend it on a velvet painting of himself with a white tiger at his feet, we say, roar, Joe, roar. Switch and see if you could save with Progressive and treat yourself. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Jeff's day is off to a slow start. So he heads to AutoZone, America's #1 battery destination, where Sammy, a local AutoZoner, tests his battery for free. Looks like he just needs a charge. And Sammy does that for free too. In no time at all, Jeff is back on the road, ready to finish the day strong. Free battery testing and charging at every store. No hassles, just help.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
This hour is serviced by the Lee Johnson Auto family.
Scanning the airwaves for the most interesting and entertaining stories of the day. Sweeping the dial. Every afternoon at 4:45 with Wyman and Bob.
Presented by Silver Reef Casino Resort.
Well, it's a bad offseason to be looking for a quarterback, whether that's in the draft, it's a pretty weak quarterback class, or free agency. Not quite an appealing list of quarterbacks. But Mina Kimes was on with Rich Eisen, and she said that teams are kind of reevaluating whether, if they need a quarterback, maybe you do go to free agency and instead of trying to draft one because of Darnold's success with the Seahawks.
Watching him and thinking about how that team was built, you really see the appeal of the middle-class quarterback. Because Darnold wasn't making top-end money. He was paid pretty good. I think it was in the $40 million. But so if you're a team like a Minnesota who let him go, or Pittsburgh, for example, there I think is some appeal taking a veteran who is already pretty further along in their development and not having to pay them top-end quarterback money. I would say compared to even drafting a guy, which is obviously what Minnesota did.
I think that's probably accurate if that guy exists out there, though. Right? I mean, it's if you have more importantly, if you've got the pieces to put around that guy where it doesn't have to fall on his shoulder specifically, which is what the Seahawks had. A tremendous defense, the best in the NFL, and what ended up being a top 5 offense. So he had a lot around him. I don't know that other teams have that luxury of saying, okay, let's go get a guy that was thought of highly and didn't pan out. Let's go get Zach Wilson. I'm just throwing that out there. Let's go get Zach Wilson. Here's a guy who was top pick and was a bust at this point, but still a young man. So he could be the new Sam Darnold. Well, if your defense stinks, your O-line's not very good, you don't have a running game, he's probably not going to look good.
Probably not going to work out.
Yeah, I don't know that it's an exact something you can duplicate because the Seahawks were unique in what they had to put around him.
Well, it seems like that there's a formula sort of floating around the NFL with how to revitalize some of these quarterbacks that have not worked out. You mentioned Zach Wilson. I don't even know where he is. Is he out of the league?
No, was he with San Diego? Maybe. I don't know. I'll look it up.
Yeah, but I mean,
LA. Sorry.
Yeah, look at the Mac Jones year that he had. I mean, he was a guy that the Niners had as a stopgap. Basically, what did he play? 8 games. He went 5-3. Threw for over 300 yards 3 different times. And let's see, he threw for 10 touchdowns. I'm sorry, 13 touchdowns. And only 6 picks, 5 picks. So I mean, he's one of those guys, I think, that you could get. But as you mentioned, I mean, he's not going to thrive if he doesn't have a good run game. He's got an offensive line that's a sieve, like Geno had in Las Vegas, and then, you don't have a defense to help you out. But there are some of those guys that are out there, and I think at one point Sam Darnold would have fallen into that same category as Mac Jones.
Yeah, Zach Wilson was in Miami. By the way. He was the number 2 overall pick in 2021.
Amazing.
Sweeping the dial.
We know how much Mike McDonald talks about what he learned from John Harbaugh when he coached under him in Baltimore. Now Harbaugh at the Combine, kind of a cool role first day back, can't speak. Role reversal, man. All right. That's a mean tax caliber thing right there. There you go. Take your shots.
Don't give them any ideas, Mike.
I know. It's 4:45. It's coming up, so I need to help them along a little bit. But in a role reversal from McDonald learning under Harbaugh, it's John now saying he's trying to emulate what McDonald has done.
A big hug, congratulations. And he's all smiles right now. Can't imagine why, and well-deserved. Proud of Mike. One of my favorite people, Steph. I like Steph even better than Mike, obviously, and who doesn't? Who knows Steph and Mike? But Mike's amazing, and to see that happen for them, the type of team they built, I guess probably more than anything, is really kind of studying the type of team that they built. He and Leslie Frazier, as partners on that process. Jay Harbaugh, a part of that too. Seeing the team that they've built is reflective, I would say, for sure, of the team that we want to build in New York.
Pretty interesting that he was under him, and now he's kind of looking at him as a model on some level of how do you move forward? How do you excel? All right, I like what they did. This guy that used to be an underling to me, and he brought up Leslie Frazier. We've had people text in and ask about him. I don't really know what his role was. Like how much responsibility did he have? What was he? What is he doing back there? I never know what he's doing.
Yeah, I mean, I think he was just an advisor on everything, pretty much. But you're right. I don't really know if he was necessarily in charge of anything, but just a wise guy that had been around the NFL.
Just a sounding board for him,
maybe.
Perhaps?
Yeah, but also, and also reminding, remember I can't remember the coach's name. He was like the keeper of Pete's defense. Remember that guy?
I remember the guy. I can't remember his name, though.
But he was kind of in charge of keeping, Pete apprised, I guess, of, or that's not so much that. I guess remembering where everything comes from, where this whole thing started out, and getting back to the principles and things like that. So that's probably the case with Leslie Frazier. But yeah, it is interesting about McDonald, and again, he's 39 now? 38 or 39?
Yeah.
I mean, he's not 40. I mean, not even 40. And, what an amazing start for him.
Sweeping the dial.
So this is something we can certainly expand on next week as well. But Justin Hollander this morning, kind of towards the end of his interview with Brock and Salk, was asked where things stand when it comes to a contract extension for Logan Gilbert.
Yeah, we would love to do something with Logan long term. He knows that. We've had multiple conversations over the years. Would love to get something done. I don't think anything's imminent, but Logan knows how we as an organization feel about him. He knows how Jerry and I feel about him individually. He's a Mariner. He represents all of the good things about this org, the way he conducts himself in the clubhouse, on the field, the kind of teammate he is, the way he approaches every offseason, and his deep desire to get better and find ways to improve. He's really unique. I would love Logan to be a Mariner for a long time. He knows that. So beyond that, I think it's silly to talk about it on the air, but Logan knows exactly how we feel about him, and when he's ready to talk about it, sign me up.
Him and all of his pitching nonsense, as Cal calls it.
I like hearing him say that, though. Sounds like they're putting the ball in his court. Like, we love you, and when you're ready, let us know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm curious what Logan's reps are saying. If they're like, hey, let's hit free agency, or let's get another dynamic year under your belt. He's coming off, by his standards, a bit of a down year.
I think obviously you throw Julio in there, but whenever you think of the Mariners, it's Cal, Julio, Logan.
Yeah.
And, and I don't know where Logan's going to fall. I know he was opening day starter last year, but where that's going to go this year, because, you got some great other pitches. Brian Wu, I mean, he's one of the guys, but I don't know. It just seems like he's the kind of the OG, with Logan Gilbert and Cal. And, yeah, I love hearing that they're gonna keep him around. We know that.
I hope so. Hopefully. It sounds like they're hoping to. Hopefully Logan's amenable to that. By the way, Mike McDonald's 38. He'll turn 39 June 26th.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Probably coach till he's 75.
Just a boy.
Yeah.
Just a young boy. All right, your last chance to get them in. Mean texts are coming your way next. Do it now. 866-979-3776. We'll see what you got coming up next with Wyman and Bob. It's Seattle Sports on 710.
Brock and Salk on the home of your American League West champion Mariners, Seattle Sports.
Cal Raleigh, how do you handle the knowledge that you guys are one of the best teams in the league right now?
This isn't a fun, cute story anymore. This is who we want to be. And if you want to get here and you want to do this, you have to have those expectations. We're not really focused on, can we do it? Or the hope factor. No, we know that we're good enough.
Catch every one of Brock and Salk's interviews from Mariners spring training on the Seattle Sports YouTube channel.
Hey, it's Dave Wyman for Swedish Cyberknife, and for local men recently diagnosed with prostate cancer, several treatment options are available. I recently had the pleasure of speaking with Dr. Robert Moyer. He's a multiple-time recipient of the Seattle Top Doctor Award, and we spoke about the great work being done by Swedish Cyberknife. And Dr. Moyer said patients experience fewer side effects compared with other treatments, and the Cyberknife treatment is complete after only 5 sessions, each lasting less than an hour. Patients are treating their prostate cancer in only 1 week with minimal interruption to their lives. Many don't even take time off of work to undergo treatment. Swedish has been offering the Cyberknife treatment in Seattle for over 10 years and treated over 1,000 prostate cancer patients, some of them listening right now. And the Cyberknife targets the prostate cancer only. So if diagnosed with prostate cancer, learn more about Cyberknife for prostate cancer treatment at swedish.org/cyberknife prostate. Treat prostate cancer with Swedish Cyberknife.
At Big Trees, you don't have to shop alone. Certified arborists are available to help you choose the right trees for your yard. Plus, each tree Big Trees installs offers a 1-year warranty and a free aftercare visit from our board-certified arborists. Come visit the nursery, no appointment necessary, and see our wide selection of species. You'll find the perfect fit for your landscape needs at Big Trees in Snohomish, or visit us online at bigtreesupply.com.
Old windows cost you money and security. Lake Washington Windows and Doors installs energy-efficient, high-security windows that lower your bills and increase protection. With leak armor installation and lifetime warranties, you're protected for life. Choose LakeWashingtonWindows.com today.
High five! Up top!
Dave's company just got the 5-year price lock guarantee from Comcast Business. Yeah! It's 5 years of gig speed internet, advanced security, and a great rate that won't change. All from the company with 99.9% network reliability.
Heck yeah.
He hasn't given this many high fives since Deborah brought in her famous banana bread.
Yes.
The Comcast Business 5-year price lock guarantee. Powering 5 years of savings, powering possibilities.
And it's hurting, but I am not stopping. For a limited time, now through March 29th, switch to Comcast Business to lock in your rate for 5 years and get a $500 prepaid card on a qualifying gig bundle. Or ask how to get started with 150 megabit internet and Security Edge for $59.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Don't wait. Call today. Restrictions apply. New customers only. 1-year contract required for guaranteed rate. Paperless billing and automatic payments with bank account required. 5-year pricing applies to monthly service charge, excluding taxes and fees.
It's Olympic Hot Tub's floor model finale. Don't experience FOMO. Get in now and save thousands on remaining 2025 floor model hot tubs. But hurry, our floor model finale ends February 28th. OlympicHotTub.com. Better you, better life.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Call 877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy and your car can be picked up by tomorrow. Call now or go to carsforkids.org.
1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
The celebration continues.
We never wavered, man. We believed in each other. We loved each other.
On the home of your Super Bowl champion Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
From whiplash to herniated discs, there are a few car accident injuries we've all heard of. JP Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains that even the most common injuries differ from one another.
Pre-existing conditions, health history, beginning of treatment. There are hundreds of factors that make every person and every injury unique. While these variables aid medical treatment, the strongest case recoveries must also take them into account.
Could you explain a little bit more?
Our team at Pendergast Law is obsessed with turning over every stone to differentiate each case. This requires thorough investigation, diligent listening, and relentless research. We never pursue cases with a one-size-fits-all approach. We built our success by treating every injury and every case with the individualized attention our clients need and deserve.
Pendergast Law's individualized approach to even the most common injuries makes the difference in case outcomes. It's another reason why I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from IQ Bar. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at eatiqbar.com/policy/terms of service.
I've got good news and bad news. Here's the bad news. Most protein bars are packed with sugar and unpronounceable ingredients. The good news? There's a better option. I'm Will, and I created IQ Bar plant protein bars to empower doers like you with clean, delicious, low-sugar brain and body fuel. IQ bars are packed with 12 grams of protein, brain nutrients like magnesium and lion's mane, and zero weird stuff. And right now, you can get 20% off all IQ Bar products, plus free shipping. Try our delicious IQ Bar sampler pack with 7 plant protein bars, 4 hydration mixes, and 4 enhanced coffee sticks. Clean ingredients, amazing taste, and you'll love how you feel. Refuel smarter, hydrate harder, caffeinate larger with IQ Bar.
Now you can get 20% off all IQ Bar products plus free shipping when you text RADIO to 64,000. Text RADIO to 64,000 to get your 20% off. That's RADIO to 64,000.
For joining us on the program. If you missed any part of today's show, you can find it on the podcast page at seattlesports.com. You got the Mariners and Diamondbacks coming your way next. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll talk to you on Monday right here with Wyman and Bob.
The first week of Seattle sports at Mariners spring training.
Man, best week of our year.
Brendan said it yesterday. We're not afraid to say World Series.
Brock and Salk definitely caught the vibe.
Julio Rodriguez, who sits down with us right now.
Being able to be so close to something so special really made this team hungry.
Cal Raleigh.
This isn't a fun, cute story anymore. This is who we want to be.
Beginning Monday, March 9th, Wyman and Bob are in Peoria.
I cannot wait to get down there.
Every exclusive interview from Mariners spring training is on the Seattle Sports YouTube page.
Luxury has arrived. It's Mike Salk here, and the all-new Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel is now open, featuring a destination spa, the expanded non-smoking space, and breathtaking views of the Cascades. You can catch every game at Hawks Peak, over 66 televisions, plus that 2,000-seat entertainment venue and exciting new dining options. Effortless style, the utmost in relaxation. You can book now at snocasino.com. Seattle's closest is now Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel.
Your new home is ready now. D.R. Horton, America's builder, has new construction communities across Puget Sound and Central Washington, with more coming. Find your new home at drhorton.com. America's builder, an equal housing opportunity builder.
Lee Johnson Auto Family, the LJ way.
When you buy a new vehicle from Lee Johnson, you'll get a lifetime powertrain warranty included.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game.
Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Talk about stepping up. It's time to level up your game. Introducing the all-new ESPN app. All of ESPN, all in one place. Your home for the most live sports and the best championship moments.
The electricity is palpable.
Step up your game with no annual contract required. It's the ultimate fan experience. Level up for more on the ESPN app or at stream.espn.com. Sign up now.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-292-4541 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-292-4541. That's 800-292-4541. What do you have to lose? Call 800-292-4541. Again, 800-292-4541.
Snapshot from Progressive wasn't created for just anybody. Oh no, we made it for you. Gradual breakers. You keep your eyes on the road, so you've seen it all. As long as it all happened directly in front of you, like a Swedish masseuse, your foot knows exactly the right amount of pressure to apply to the brake. That's why your passengers feel totally relaxed with you behind the wheel and occasionally super sleepy. With Snapshot, safe drivers like you get personalized rates based on your driving habits. Sign up today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Snapshot not available in California or from all agents.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Jeff's day is off to a slow start. So he heads to AutoZone, America's #1 battery destination, where Sammy, a local AutoZoner, tests his battery for free. Looks like he just needs a charge. And Sammy does that for free too. In no time at all, Jeff is back on the road, ready to finish the day strong. Free battery testing and charging at every store. No hassles, just help.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Running a business means wearing multiple hats. So if you're like me, you probably started out using your personal phone, taking client calls and texts nonstop. As my business grew, I needed something smarter. That's when I switched to Quo, the #1 business phone system. Quo works right on your phone or computer. No carrying two phones, no clunky landline, just one easy app you can try for free. Your team can share one number and handle calls and texts together like a shared inbox. Any teammate can jump into the conversation so customers get faster responses. And Quo's AI assistant summarizes your calls and responds to customers 24/7, so you never miss a lead or opportunity. All this starts at just $15 a month. That's basically 2 coffees. You can even keep your current business phone number. Find out why 90,000 businesses trust Quo. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try Quo for free at quo.com/sports. That's quo.com/sports to try Quo free. QUO.com/SPORTS.
Home of your Super Bowl champion Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
They are bringing the Lombardi back to the Northwest. This is the power of 12 is 1, man.
KIRO AM Seattle and KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Welcome to Three Tree Roofing Mariners Cactus League Baseball.
Swing and a miss. Strike 3 with a fastball. George Kirby striking out the side.
Play-by-play coverage of your American League West champion Seattle Mariners is brought to you in part by Muckleshoot Casino Resort, T-Mobile, and your local steel dealers.
Swung on a chopper up the middle. This could be 2. JP has it. Goes to the bag. Steps on second. Fires to first. Double play.
Now, let's go down to the desert for Three Tree Roofing Mariners Cactus League Baseball.
Welcome to Seattle Mariners Baseball. Great to have you with us tonight. The first night game of spring for the Seattle Mariners in action tonight against the Arizona Diamondbacks. Gary Hill with you alongside Rick Riz, Shannon Dreher here as well. Our first night action of the season also sees Luis Castillo take the ball for the very first time. Mariners will have worked their way through the rotation with Castillo going today. Brennan Davis in the starting lineup for the Mariners. He's been impressive so far, cleaning up for the Mariners today, and that's Rick's guest. And we return right after this.